Welcome to Freakwards. I'm EJ Leaston, and with me today is Rory Kalarasti Cutie Patootie. How's it going, buddy?
So you're going for like a Twin Peaks thing, but it sounded more like Stallone.
It sounded really good, though.
It was awesome. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
That was awesome.
Yeah. I tried. I could not. I was like, I should try to practice it. And I was like, nah, just do it. Whatever.
You could do no wrong in my eyes, sir.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm great. I had a lot going on.
You have.
I've been
You've
really
been on
busy.
vacation.
Yeah. I went on vacation. I went to Florida. And we got to Orlando a little early, so I stayed in Kissimmee at the Florida Project
Was
Hotel.
that a request or somewhere you stayed?
Oh, no. I legit was like, hey, if we get there early, can we stay in the hotel that the Florida Project was filmed at? And my girlfriend was like, yeah, sure. She didn't see the movie. And then it was funny because, like, friends were like, why'd you stay there? But it's not really that bad. Like,
Yeah.
people were like, I don't know. But I got to stay there. And then because we were still early, I went to, like, the restaurant, Orange World, the gift shop and stuff that the kids, like, walk by. It was really cool. I had like a little Florida Project experience.
Dude, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it was cool. And the restaurant was really cool. It looks very different inside now, but the one lady that was working there was telling us like all these like cool behind the scenes stories.
She wasn't like the lady from Haps.
No, she wasn't like Irene from Haps. No, she was very nice.
You want to hear the specials? We don't have any.
We don't got none. But yeah, no, she was really, really cool. And then even the hotel itself, it was like, it's not purple anymore, and it's not called the Magic Castle anymore. But it was still crazy to like look and be like, wow, Willem Dafoe. And I don't know, it was cool.
Were the chalk outlines of the bodies still on the ground, or they clean those up?
Yeah, they clean those up.
Yeah, that movie makes it look a little sketchy.
Yeah, I love it. I love that movie. And then when we got back from Florida, Robin watched it and loved it.
Yeah?
She thought it was really, really good.
And who's this Robin?
My girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
So, but we also went to Universal.
Cool.
And we did Islands of Adventure and stuff. And I got to ride Kong Skull Island for the first time. And it was incredible.
Yeah?
Yeah. I actually was like, I don't know. I used to love the old like ride back in the day. And then the Mummy replaced it. But this one it's fun. It's kind of like the Spider-Man ride.
Okay.
A little bit, where it's like you're in front of like a screen sometimes, and yeah, it's cool. I don't know.
Fun.
Yeah, I liked it. And I also went to see a concert. I saw Wednesday 13.
How was that?
Amazing. It was like it's heavy rock,
Okay.
which everyone's like, you saw that? And I was like, yeah, because I'm normally more of like pop.
Yeah, you're like a poppy, dancey guy.
Yeah.
And if anybody at home has not seen EJ dance before, it's a goddamn shame.
Like 90s R&B pop music is like, yeah.
I'm not kidding. Watching EJ dance is one of those things where I'm like, oh, I don't need painkillers.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But let's go into our special guest today.
Coming to us live
from his bedroom.
home, living
I'm
room.
not in my bedroom, and the timing is perfect because there's a car that's driving by right now at a red light going into the tunnel that is blasting music. So I did not purposely give myself intro music right now.
I thought that I was like, that's perfect timing.
Yeah. Dave has a theme.
Yeah, Mr. David Gonzalez, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing well. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah,
This
man.
is always a fun time to be on.
I know. I loved Killer Clowns. That was so.
Yeah, that was
fun.
a really fun episode.
Yeah. That was a lot of good laughs in there with Mike Tobacco.
I wanna test Rory. I want to see how many jokes he can come up with for today's episode.
Yeah, he was asking me about that, and I don't know if this is going to be like a jokey episode for me, but I'm like fucked up, so it'll probably start coming to me.
Yeah. It happens.
Like the subject matter of this movie is a little
serious.
It's a little rough, but
Yeah.
but I'm a sick guy, so I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you're real fucked up.
I am. There's nothing good about me.
No.
It's
No, there's a lot of funny moments in this movie that we're
for
covering
sure.
today.
There's a thing. The first time I watched this movie, I was like, I have to find out if A, EJ watched this movie before, and B, his feelings on this moment. And I'll point it out when we get there.
Okay.
Because I'm like, I feel like there's something that happens in this movie where I'm like, EJ probably loves this and probably wants to try it.
Oh, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
Is it Bobby?
Yeah, Bobby dancing in front of the high school.
Yeah. That's how well I know you. I'm like, that's an EJ moment.
Yeah. I was like, I love that. I don't know why. I just loved it.
But I knew that you would love it.
Yeah.
I was just like,
All
I
you're
gotta talk.
missing, EJ, is just like your leather jacket. And
Yes.
you'll be good to go.
I just need a T on that jacket and I'm good to go.
And like anger issues.
Oh, a lot of anger issues.
More anger issues.
Yeah, more than I normally have. All right, let's go into what are some new movies you guys recently see. Dave, do you want to start us off?
Take us away.
Yeah, I won't take 30 minutes like I usually do with this section.
I'll do 29 minutes.
I saw Drop, the new horror movie.
Yeah.
Fun.
It was fun.
I had a good time with it. They did a good job of actually making me not predict who the person was in the first 5 minutes, even though they really gave some like obvious choices at first.
Yeah.
But when it wasn't that person, I was like, all right, good stuff. Fun, nothing great, but really fun film. I'll save this one for last because I know Rory's going to want to talk about it.
Sure will.
I watched, by the time this podcast comes out, I can definitely talk about it. I'm still under embargo, but Gareth Evans' Havoc. He directed The Raid and The Raid 2. He has a new movie coming out on Netflix with Tom Hardy. I've never seen The Raid or The Raid 2, but I've heard those movies are incredible.
Incredible. They're so good.
This embargo you have, will it be okay if this episode airs next Wednesday?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, we're
the movie
good.
comes out on Friday, so
Okay, cool.
Embargo will be done.
I just don't want to get you in trouble.
So the movie, EJ, I'll ask you this because I've
Yeah.
never seen it. I've just heard amazing things. So I'm watching Havoc, and I feel like I'm writing my notes, and I'm like, there's like no fucking plot in this movie. It is just like the action is incredible, but I feel like it is the most surface level screenplay I think I've probably seen all year.
Yeah.
So I don't know if The Raid, because I know the premise is like you go from the bottom to the top of the building, essentially.
Right.
Is there any plot to the movie, or is it just
I
that?
feel like the first one, it's very simple. Yeah, it does. It's definitely more action driven than story driven. Where the second one, they do kind of add more character, like background to certain characters and stuff. But yeah, I feel like the first one's
the same thing.
Yeah,
Havoc is the same thing. There's really no plot. It's just corrupt politician gets son kidnapped. Tom Hardy has to get the son. That's about it.
That's awesome.
But the action is pretty badass.
Yeah.
So I think for the action, it's worth a watch. Saw The Amateur because I had nothing to do this weekend.
Oh yeah. Did you like it?
I liked it.
Yeah,
it
I
would
thought
be
it was
like
alright.
a nice movie that I would have loved in 1995. Like,
It
it's
really fits. Yeah, it
it's like
fits
I
that
saw it
era.
and I'm like, okay, it's harmless. I had a good time. Pacing was fine. Nothing wrong with it. It is the perfect fine movie. Like if it's probably going to be playing on TNT every week.
Is it like
2 years.
is it like a movie that's like for grandma?
It's more for grandpa and dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
It's Lawrence Fishburne's in it, and I think he's one of the best parts of it.
That's usually what you can say about Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
What do we call him in the Nightmare 3 episode?
Larry
Fishburne, yeah.
Yeah.
By the
his
way,
credit,
while I'm
yeah.
still talking, because I know you edit this pod very religiously, do you want me to hit record on my end?
No.
Oh, you don't need me to do that
Nope,
anymore.
you're good.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, cool. So you can leave that in if you like.
I'm going to leave it in.
So
I want America to know the behind the scenes of prequels.
Should I hit record? Nah, man, we're good.
The only thing we ever cut out is the sexual harassment stuff.
Oh, right.
We
No,
try to
please
keep
do.
it- Yeah,
Please
that-
do.
there's a lot of stuff that America
and
just
then
doesn't
to
need to know.
finish off, you guys are around my age, so you guys will appreciate this. There's a new documentary about the Goofy movie.
What?
Oh, I heard about that, and I saw the actors.
Legitimately cried.
Oh
Yeah?
my god!
It
I
just
can't wait
hit
to
the-
watch it.
It's so it just came out last week or a week and a half ago, so it's already on Disney Plus. It's
Man.
and I didn't cry like sad tears, which is like it was like the little engine that could. That movie had no reason to exist during the time where The Lion King was coming out, Aladdin was coming out, and this
Yeah.
movie is just like pushing through it. Almost didn't get finished. It almost ended literally towards the end of the production. I love a Goofy movie. It's
Yeah.
one of those movies I grew up with. Rory, you
And
gonna
that
say
song,
something?
Powerline.
I saw it in the theater, but I had a question about the documentary. Did they like interview a very old Goofy, and
Yes.
then he passed away during the interview, and that's why he
No.
cried?
No.
Not that sad. No,
And
we're good.
Jason Marsden is in it too from
Yep.
Boy Meets World
And they
stuff.
and
yeah.
they do interview him. He's in the documentary.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
Jason
cool.
Marsden?
Yeah.
Yeah,
From,
Jason Moore.
He's
Like-
at Boy Meets World?
Yeah, Boy Meets World. He was the best friend.
He's Eric's best friend in Boy Meets World.
He did a lot of voice acting. He was in Hocus
that
Pocus.
guy.
He did Thackeray Banks.
Okay, I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
I couldn't think of
Because
it.
you're like Eric's best friend, and I'm like, wasn't he only in like a
The first season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's there and then he's gone.
And he was in My Date with the President's Daughter.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I love that movie too.
Eric-
They need to put those DComs back on
Yeah.
on actual Disney Plus because those old DComs are not on there.
HE double hockey sticks. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Eric was in that one too. But
But yeah, it's a good one. I mean, I think you guys, if you get growing up on that, I think you guys will like it.
Yeah.
And then
Hell yeah.
today, I did some police films from the 80s and 90s. So I saw Sea of Love.
Okay.
Pacino. Pacino is like my Letterboxd review says this because I love Al Pacino. I'm not
Yeah.
going to do his voice in this situation, but like unhinged Pacino and Can Cook in the Sack Pacino equals a staple of 80s and 90s cinema. Al Pacino cannot have sex for his life. Number one, he's been through so many women in his life because my guy cannot. Him and Tom Cruise. I don't
Yeah.
know who has like the worst sex scenes in movies. Pacino is like, I don't know what the fuck he's doing in this movie. No. I feel like the most riz
good.
Pacino ever had was in Heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even the sex scene in that movie sucked. But just the fact that he was able to talk about someone's ass the way he does, it's
Right.
just good. The movie's fun though. John Goodman and Pacino working together. I think that's the only time they ever worked together. It's a fun little movie. What else do I got? Internal Affairs. Have you guys ever seen that? Where
Yeah.
Richard Gere and Andy Garcia.
Oh, okay. No, I was thinking of a different one.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So good. Shout out to Andy Garcia for having the worst hairstyles of the 90s and chest hair.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah?
Godfather Part 3. But good movie. And then Snake Eyes, Brian De Palma.
Oh,
Nicolas
sure.
Cage.
Oh, yeah.
I love Brian De
Nicolas
Palma.
Cage, right?
I used to not like this movie when I was younger. As I've gotten older, I'm like it's fucking bananas. And I put my letterbox says if you thought cocaine was a relic of the past by 1998, you clearly haven't seen Nicolas Cage in Snake Eyes, a performance so unhinged that he makes Tony Montana look like a dare officer.
Nice. Dare. Remember the Dare program?
I sure do.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then
That's hilarious.
Bad Lieutenant. Have you guys seen Bad Lieutenant?
Harvey
Ferrara?
Keitel's or the yeah. That's good. Did you see the
Have you
Nicolas Cage one? though,
Yes.
too? Yes.
I like both of them.
Yeah, me
Have you
too.
seen those movies?
No.
Rory? Watch the Keitel one. It is dark fucking shit, man.
Yeah?
It's really good. He's good. It's really good stuff.
Sold.
And then saw Tenet before we jumped on.
Yeah.
I've loved that movie ever since it came out. I know a lot of people think it's weird, but no.
I was just defending it last night. I like I don't think Nolan, and for me personally, has missed. I like all of his movies. I don't care.
I
What's
used
your
to say
favorite?
Interstellar until I had Harley. And now Interstellar, no lie, there has never been a piece of art that has changed my perspective on it has changed since Harley was born, since more than Interstellar. That movie
yeah.
eviscerates me in every way possible.
Yeah.
And I saw it in 70 millimeter on IMAX last year.
Yeah.
And I think I cried 4 or 5 times.
Oh, man.
Like bawled. It is.
That's a movie, man. I remember when it came out, like didn't seem like people really loved it, and then all of a sudden it's like everyone's favorite Nolan movie.
It's Gen Z's favorite Nolan movie.
Yeah.
Because I've spoken to like people a lot younger than me and asked them why they love it so much. Because before Harley, I just didn't get it. I think it was a very well made movie because Nolan is Nolan, but I never got like the love of it. I thought it was very good, but not like an all time masterpiece. And they're like, oh, a lot of the people that I told, they were like, because we were Murph's age, so we really really felt Murph and her losing her father. And now I'm on the perspective of the father, and I'm just like, man, why are you leaving her, man? And when he realizes how much time is spent when they went on that ice planet, I'm like, fuck me, man. And then the last thing I saw is Sinners. And
Yes.
Rory, I'll kick it off to you when I finish up here. Sinners is the best movie I've seen this year. Sinners is incredible. I hyped it up to Rory, and now Rory should always listen to me because I'm 2 for 2. I think that movie takes the vampire genre to like another level and elevates the genre to a place that I didn't think it could go, where it becomes more than just a horror film.
Yeah.
That movie is about culture. That movie is about music. That movie is about the importance of community. And
Appropriation also.
Yes, that movie's horny as fuck.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
That scene where the main character, like the preacher son, Sammy, is playing the music, and you see all the different generations of
that's
music.
the scene of the year.
Oh my god,
It's overwhelming.
yeah.
It really is. Like there was like a moment where I'm like, what are we doing? There's like a second where I'm like, oh, it's just gonna go off the rails, and then you just like get enveloped by it, and it's so fucking powerful.
It's so good.
And on 70 millimeter IMAX, what that part does is that you've seen that, you've been to that theater with me, Rory. So it's half the screen is taken when the song starts. And as the song progresses, they just go. And by the end of it, you have that entire giant 70-foot screen immersed with that music.
That's
and
amazing.
It's amazing. They're actually giving out, I'm going to go again to see it this weekend because they're this weekend only, they're giving a piece of 70 millimeter film for anyone
that's awesome.
that sees it. So I'm gonna
That's
go.
super cool.
Yeah, that's super cool.
I saw it on Monday. And,
Same.
And did you?
Yeah.
I thought that was you.
Yeah.
No, man. This is one of those movies that like I don't usually do this on the show, but like I would really ask anybody listening to just make it a point to go see it because it's kind of amazing. It's like an original movie.
Yeah.
It's not like based on anything, and it hits so hard. It's like such a perfect fucking movie. It's executed so well.
So super well. Yeah.
Those, like when because I don't know if I'm spoiling this for anybody unless if you haven't seen the trailers. Cover your ears for a second. When the vampire first shows himself,
Yeah.
and they cut to the moon and you hear like that heavy metal music that sounds like Ghost wrote it. I'm like, this movie fucking rules.
Yeah.
But like all those like beautiful shots of like like the fields and
I love the vultures over the house.
Yeah.
When he first meets that couple.
yeah, it's like a
little
telling.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And my favorite scene, oddly enough, is probably the mid-credit scene, which we can't talk about.
No. We don't want to ruin anything about it. I know what you're talking about.
It is one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie because it could have went one way or another way. That's very trope.
They chose the right way,
and they just did it. They nail it. It's so good.
I think honestly, Ryan Coogler, this is my favorite of his movies for sure, and the best that I've seen Michael B. Jordan, and I'm a huge fan of him. Becca generally refers to him as my boyfriend. She's like, "Oh, your boyfriend's in the movie," because I love him. But the movie, man, I just think like the characters are just so well drawn.
Yeah.
It just has like, it's almost like if you took like From Dusk Till Dawn, Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight. It had like a lot of like Demon Knight vibes to it. And like, I don't know, just did something like he made a movie that actually said something in a way that I really respect, because most modern filmmakers only know how to beat you over the head with like ideas and messages. This is so perfectly interwoven into it.
Yeah.
And it also has the best Irish river dance ever.
Oh, it's so
You get to see a
good.
vampire.
There's
do
so
a-
much
do
like
a jig.
subtext and commentary.
Yeah.
It's like insanely good.
But not like obnoxious. Like, it's
No.
just like, okay, I get what you're saying, and it feels completely like I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Sinners, if you haven't seen it, see it, and then see it again. See it as many
Yeah.
times as you can, because like these are the movies I just want desperately to succeed. Because
my God.
and I know Hollywood's horribly afraid of it right now because they don't want to be giving out those kind of deals to other filmmakers. Look into it. I'm not going to go into it.
The
But
25-year thing.
yeah, and
Yeah,
just
that-
like I guess he's getting a percentage of the
So he after 25 years he owns the entire rights to the film.
Yeah.
Everything big goes back to him.
And
That's
they're all
awesome.
and they're all
Yeah.
just nervous because like they kind of rely on their library.
Right.
And this movie is like 100% going to be like a horror classic. This is going to be one of
Oh,
those.
yeah.
Hands down. Yeah.
And so like they're just like, but we want that forever.
I know.
It's
get our
great that we
lawyers.
got our best horror movie of the year in
Yeah.
April.
Yeah,
know.
dude.
We're done. I think we're done.
And I'm with you, man. I'm like, this is my favorite movie of the year right now. Like that, it's like not even close. Like there's nothing else that I've seen so far that I think is even like a hair next to it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
This is the only. I keep my 5 stars to a minimum a year. This is the earliest I've given one out in like 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It's so
Yeah.
damn good.
There were some
I-
good
so good.
ones. There are definitely a couple of like movies that I thought were like flirting with like the. Like I really liked Black Bag quite a bit.
That's my number 2. It was my number
Was
1
it?
until
Okay.
Sinners.
What was
yeah.
what's another one?
Hold on. Give me a second. Hold on. Oh, Mickey 17 I really liked.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Warfare. Which
That's
I'll
one I
talk
need
about
to
a lot.
see.
it.
That's
Yeah, I
one
didn't
that's-
see it
that's
yet.
coming
In
up.
theaters. Do not watch that
Yeah.
at home. That is a movie that needs to be experienced in theaters.
Sold.
EFIS. If you guys have not heard of it, I saw it at New York Film Festival. It is a movie. Basically, what I call it is adult Sandlot. So it's a slice of life movie. It's these old guys that play at this field. They play a pickup baseball game, I think weekly or monthly. And the movie is their last game.
Oh, yeah, I think you
because
talked about this.
I
the one
told
time.
you about this.
Yeah,
one, yeah.
it sounds awesome.
Basically what happens is that as the movie progresses, probably in the first 25 minutes, you find out that one of the ball players is actually the one that's responsible for the field getting destroyed. And you have like all these relationships throughout the 9-inning game because the whole movie is in real time. So it starts at the beginning of the game and it ends at the end of the game. So like you have them dealing with those types of like situations like how do we deal with being your friend after all this type of thing? But it's actually really funny. And there's actually a scene when it gets dark and they have to find out how to get light because they never played dark before. So they have to bring all their cars to the field to light up the field. It's a really, really good film. I'm sure a lot of people aren't going to see it because it's so small. But if you guys get a chance to, it's really good.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
I,
I love movies in real time.
Yeah, me too.
As well.
Yeah,
I
because
love
like
that.
there's like an urgency to them sometimes.
Yeah, like Saturday
Warf-
Night was like
Rope
awesome.
is
Rope,
a
yeah.
solid one.
Warfare is in real time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sick.
Sold.
Awesome.
I'll rattle off some shit that I've seen.
Yeah, hell
Want
yeah,
to hear
man.
some stuff? I think
No.
Dave, I think you're gonna like some of these. I've been trying to revisit a lot of David Lynch movies.
Yes.
So I revisited Eraserhead, and Eraserhead's still awesome.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's so good.
That's like top tier Lynch for me.
Yeah.
I adore everything, every single choice in that movie, and I'll probably bring this up a couple times during this episode. That's one of those films that I heard was very, very weird, and you're like, oh, you can't understand it, and I'm like, that movie is so clear to me about a guy who just has anxiety about like having a child and getting married.
yeah.
Like it's very obvious what it's about, but like I know people used to tell me that before I ever saw it. They're like, "Oh, don't watch it, you won't understand it." I watched it, and I'm like, "No, I get this.
Yeah.
It's just like an artist made it."
Right.
But anyway, I also watched Inland Empire for the first time. Yeah, that movie fucking rules, and I would never recommend it to anyone.
Nope. Neither would I.
Yeah, did you see it?
No, actually, I'll put it on my list. to
I'll
watch
tell you
it.
this:
Yeah.
it's first of all, it's 3 hours long, and it's very like it's Lynch on acid for
Perfect.
sure. But I loved it. Like it was like a 3 hour movie that I didn't feel like annoyed by. You know what I mean? Like when
Yeah.
sometimes things just are going on too long. It's always interesting visually. It's great. It's experimental. It's David Lynch. Technically, the last feature we ever really got.
The
from
last
him.
feature, because The Return is the last thing he ever did, but this is the last feature
And
film he ever did.
Speaking of which, it's always nice when you leave this world on top, in my opinion. Like, you go out with a bang.
Yeah.
If that's gonna be the last thing you ever did was the third season of Twin Peaks, and like you had a good life. I revisited All That Jazz.
Oh yeah,
You've seen that before, right, Dave?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a
Bob Fosse.
Yeah,
right?
that is a solid movie. I had to watch it in film school.
Yeah.
And my teacher was real he's like, oh, you guys need to see this. It's really important. And again, turn around, everybody in my class is fast asleep.
Yeah.
But I really liked it then, and I loved it the other day.
Yeah.
I just I connected with it in a weird way.
Very interesting, like, history with that film and how much it's grown in popularity, because a lot of people think it's Fosse's best film. I do think that. And it turned into a whole back and forth with him and Coppola at the Oscars that year too, because Coppola had Apocalypse Now, and then Bob Fosse had All That Jazz, and they both lost to Kramer versus Kramer.
Wow, what an embarrassing moment in history.
I love Kramer versus
I do
Kramer,
too. It's a great movie, but I mean, Apocalypse Now.
I know. Oh my god.
Apocalypse Now. I don't know.
Well,
they seem like different movies to me.
I love Cabaret.
Cabaret's another solid one.
I was like all about like, you have to watch Cabaret. You have to watch Cabaret, and I think that would be my
leave me alone.
favorite.
That's what I kept saying to you. I'm like, I don't want to watch it.
I had such a hard time with Cabaret because of knowing how the Oscars went that year.
Oh right, because your favorite movie of all time is Godfather, right?
My second favorite, but in retrospect, and like the actual direction of The Godfather is so much better than Cabaret.
Yeah, for sure.
And Joel Grey beat Al Pacino at the Oscars, which is,
unforgivable.
I
also, and I was talking about this for a couple of weeks straight, the movie High and Low.
Yes, you told me about that last week.
The Kurosawa movie. You ever see that?
That's the one where the kid gets kidnapped and they think it's his. He
hasn't seen it yet.
Okay, yeah. But that's the one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I found that to be
That's really good.
Definition of an engaging film.
Oh my god!
It starts off and I'm just kind of like what they're talking about, you know?
Yeah.
Like at the very beginning about like, you know, business, money, like is it worth your humanity? And then they really put it to the test. The decisions the main character has to make. I love the fact that it isn't just like him being like, well, it's the right thing to do. We should do this. I liked watching him struggle because it felt like earned by the time he made his choice. I was just like, okay, I get it. Right?
Yeah.
Like they make you feel like you get to see him suffer before he makes the choice that you should make. Right?
Right.
And then it becomes like a police procedural thing. And then by that third act, I'm like, what a fucking masterpiece. And that last goddamn scene was so hard for me, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like that's just like the last thing that you see from the quote unquote bad guy in it.
Yeah.
Is so like it's so powerful.
Oh my god.
Kurosawa is another one of those filmmakers. Every single one of his movies I've seen, I've just been like, I get it. I get why people love you.
I love Yojimbo.
I do too.
That's like one of my favorites.
I like
too.
both of them because there's like the two of them. There's
right.
This is where I show I can trade my cinephile card in, because I saw Seven Samurai like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't love it.
Oh, no.
And I never went to High and Low after, because that's literally High and Low was the one right after that I wanted to see.
Yeah.
And I never went back. But now that the Spike Lee has the, I guess his interpretation of it coming to Cannes, Highest and Lowest with Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
I have to see High and Low before I see Highest to Lowest. So
yeah.
I'm just telling you, man, when you get into there's a scene, this isn't ruining anything. It's like this area that's like riddled with like people addicted to heroin, and like the way they light the villain in that scene is like, it's haunting. That whole scene is just like cinematic perfection.
Yes.
And as pretentious as that sounded, it's the only way I can describe it.
Yeah.
But after High and Low, Becca made a choice for us to watch, and I loved it. I never saw it before. The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, that movie fucking rocks.
So
Shout out
good.
to Becca. Let's go.
I had the best fucking time watching that with her, because I'm like, at first I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch this, and then I'm like watching, I'm like, if I had a time machine, if I could go back in time, I would just like pull Lindsay Lohan to the side and just be like, just don't make those choices. She was so good.
Do you think I think she's gonna resurge.
I hope she does.
Yeah,
I think
with
so. I think so.
Freaky
And
Friday.
she has Freakier Friday coming
Freakier
out
Friday,
this year,
yeah.
so I think she's coming back.
I am like here for her to have like a second bite of the apple, you know?
Yeah.
Because like I always right down the line with her, I was like, man, she's so talented. And then she got sucked up into that Hollywood bullshit.
Yeah.
And like she fell off her path and it was not good. But I was like watching her in that movie and she's so fucking delightful and charming, and
that movie rocks.
It does.
It's
and
so good.
The thing we're about midway through the movie, and I looked back at it. I'm like, you know what's funny? You just completely forget that she's acting against herself.
Yeah,
they feel like two separate people. It's the same little kid actress. She's like on that Mount Rushmore of great kid actors, as far as I'm concerned. So the next day, I watched a documentary. I know you've seen it, Dave. I don't know if you've seen it. Lynch Oz.
Oh no, I haven't seen it. Yeah,
it's it's a Criterion movie that's not quite a Criterion movie.
Janus releases.
Yeah. It looks like a Criterion. It's not a Criterion, but it's kind of a Criterion.
But
it's flirting.
In my organization, it is in my Criterion section.
Me too. It's I don't have it with numbered with the rest of them. It's almost like the last one. So it's gonna be the last one, but it's basically just sort of like these I believe it's like 4 or 5 different filmmakers talk about The Wizard of Oz's influence on a lot of David Lynch's work. It's awesome. John Waters has a section in it, and like
I love John Waters
too, man.
I
want to like meet him and I want to hug him.
I know.
He just seems like such a great dude.
Quick John Waters story. Shout out. I gotta let my buddy know that when this episode goes up, because I remember when I started getting into John Waters, because I was really late on him, to be honest, because I had heard, his films are not for everybody.
That's an understatement.
Yes. He directed Serial Mom, right?
He did.
I love that
awesome.
movie.
Yes.
That's like my favorite.
That's the first one that I saw, and the whole don't wear white after Labor Day joke is like one of my favorite things ever. But then my buddy kept pushing me to watch Pink Flamingos.
Yeah. With Divine.
I did not watch Pink Flamingos when I read up on Pink Flamingos. So shout out to John Waters, but have you guys seen Pink Flamingos?
100%, man.
I own it.
I do too.
Yeah.
I love Pink Flamingos because I love when I watch a movie that is completely somebody's vision. That is a John Waters movie.
I love Crybaby. That's another big one for me. Yeah.
Did you ever see? Was it Pecker?
Pecker, with Eddie Furlong.
Yeah. But no, dude, if you have some time, watch Lynch Oz. It's just like, because not only does it kind of give you a better perspective on some of like Lynch's filmmaking, but it also just reminds you how wonderful The Wizard of Oz is. Because you're watching it and you're like, I gotta fucking watch that again. I'll try to blow through the rest of these because I realize I had a lot of them on here. I finished Twin Peaks. We'll get more into that during this episode, I promise. Because I'm sure everybody that listens to the show is tired of hearing me say, I've been watching Twin Peaks. This weekend, I went to Hitchcock Till You Drop. I'm wearing a shirt, represent. I got to see The Birds, Rear Window, Psycho, and Vertigo all on 35 millimeter.
Oh my God.
It was glorious.
Yeah.
How bad was it?
It was, what? They were like apparently very surprised by the turnout. They were very happy about it.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know why they were surprised, because I just feel like the Mahoney Drive-In, the thing that I really like about it is that it's literally like a haven for cinephiles. It's like the whole shtick is like, we've got it on 35 millimeter. We're going to show like marathons of like these like really great cult classics and blah, blah. So you're showing Hitchcock movies. People are going to fucking show up. Like there was a huge line of people just waiting to get in to get like a good place.
Yeah.
I was at the front of the fucking line.
Hell yeah.
Because I'm crazy. I was so anxious the whole day. I'm like, what if I have to like get some bad parking space and I don't get to see it in the drive-in properly? But anyway, that's my own problem. All 4 of them are wonderful movies, and they are just better served on a big screen. Psycho, especially, man, that movie, I've talked about it so much on this podcast. I keep talking about Psycho, but it's so well paced.
Yeah.
There's like a point where you're like, oh, this is like almost over. Like it feels like it just started and it's already ending. Like it's how fast it moves. And then, of course, I saw Sinners, but we already talked about that. Taking it over to EJ Leeson over there. What do you got?
Oh, I saw Sinners, loved it. Thought it was amazing, and then I rewatched The Florida Project, which I absolutely love.
Is that your favorite Sean Baker?
I think it's Tangerine, actually.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I think it's weird. I think it might go in order. Well, no, I would say like it's Tangerine. I just saw Takeout, which was awesome too. But yeah, I think Tangerine and then Florida Project.
I am so basic. It's Nora.
I love Nora though.
I think I'm going backwards. So I think it's Nora, Red Rocket. I need to watch the Florida Project again. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
But I recently saw Starlet, which I fucking loved.
Yeah, that was really good.
Really, really loved.
It's like Harold and Maude.
And knowing that,
so
and realizing that's fucking
old are
that's Ernest Hemingway's granddaughter in the lead of that movie.
Yeah, I know, which is insane.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't. That's the only movie of his I actually didn't like is Takeout, which is blasphemy.
Yeah.
And I have Prince of Broadway to watch. That's the last one I have left
I didn't watch
to
that either. Yeah, but Sean Baker, I just love his style. I don't know. I love how he casts like locals to play like minor characters because it really sells that environment more.
We talk about that a lot on the show about whenever people don't just hire like beautiful people for every role.
David Lynch is like a perfect example of that.
For
like,
sure.
Hiring people that are just like you normally wouldn't see in most movies, especially today.
You're like, here's like Naomi Watts, but then on the other side of it, it's like the most real looking people you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Same thing with like he uses Laura Dern a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's like, here's like your movie star, but then all around them are just like real looking people, and it just makes you feel like it's a real experience,
Yeah.
I don't like when everyone just looks perfect. It takes me right the fuck out of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baker and Lynch are like, I always say like Sean Baker specifically is like gives a voice to the voiceless.
Yeah.
Like with all his types of
100%.
films.
I feel like he's doing like the Great American Tour, but of all like places that people don't normally shine a light on.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Or if it is a popular area, say like LA, he shows like the gritty part of LA that isn't like in most movies, Do
you know I think my favorite
it.
one of his movies is so far? Is that I think I'm a Red Rocket guy.
Oh yeah, I love Red Rocket. I think it's great.
I really like. I remember watching that for the first time and being like, "Man, I wish every movie was like this."
First off, I love NSYNC. So
that's another thing too. I'm like, I wonder if EJ likes this movie.
Love it,
Dave. You need to at some point in time see EJ do the NSYNC dances.
Yeah,
friend of the show, Adam Farley.
Yeah,
the two of them. They know all the dances and stuff, and it's pretty awesome.
Growing up, we were huge fans.
Yeah, we go out places sometimes, and they'll just start dancing, and it makes everyone happy.
Yeah, we do a little kid and play. Yeah, we do a little kid and play sometimes, and then we'll do a lot of NSYNC and Backstreet sometimes. But yeah, no, I love Red Rocket, and I love that part when the girl Cherry or whatever sings NSYNC. Yeah, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. Bye. Yeah, it's so good. I don't know. But anyways, Florida Project, love it. I love the more I watch it, the more I get out of it too. Because this time I really picked up on the kids' environment was something that a kid would imagine. So when they go to the Twisty Treat ice cream place, it looks like an ice cream cone. And then when they go to Orange World, it's like shaped like a giant orange. And then the gift shop has a giant wizard on it. And even the Magic Castle is like purple. And most buildings are very bland and like white and gray or brown, So to see it from like the whole movie's from a kid's perspective. And then you think about all that extra stuff on top of it. It's just like, man, freaking love that movie. It's so good.
As someone that goes to Disney a lot, I watch that movie and I'm like, no one's getting into Disney that easily. Where's the security?
I know.
Where the fuck is the security?
Yeah, well, what's going on here? Yeah. But, oh, man. And then it just hits even harder. Like, the first time I watched it, I didn't really like the mom. But I think like
yeah.
the more I watch it now, I like feel like really terrible
there's
for
a
her too.
sympathetic quality to her.
Yeah.
Sean posted on Instagram right after the Oscars. They're releasing a 4K. I hope it's Criterion, but they're doing a 4K for Florida Project.
Yeah.
And they brought back everybody, and they're so old now. It's like,
Yeah, that's so wild.
Time flies.
Yeah, that movie is.
I'm already
so
picking out my casket.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'm getting a Kiss casket. No.
Sweet.
Hi, I'm Gene Simmons of Kiss. No, but that's pretty much all I watched recently because
Cool.
I was like on vacation.
I feel like you watched something else.
Oh, yeah, I did. I actually watched this a couple of times. So I watched it before I wrote it out, which I normally don't do. Normally I'll just watch it and write.
Because you wanted to experience
Streamline.
it again,
Yeah,
right?
I kind of want to just like make sure I watch it and see it properly the first time. And then like before I write stuff out. So I watched it and I loved it. I love this movie.
Can I tell you a weird thing about why we're recording this episode right now? Is that I was really insistent on us doing this episode because I think it might be bad information that the movie came out on May 1st. And I guess that might not actually be true. So I was like, oh, it's a bummer. But then it turns out that it was Sheryl Lee's birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
So it all worked out.
It works out. Yeah. It works out.
Sheryl Lee had her birthday yesterday, and I think the three of us agree on this, that like she gives one of the most remarkable performances for like an actress ever.
Yes.
And that's like a big thing to say because there's lots of movies out there.
Oh my god.
But like
It's
very
so-
few actresses, like I feel like got under my skin like that.
Yes, I totally agree. That was like one of the things I texted you too. As soon as I finished watching it, or when we were talking about it, I was like, "How did she not become like a big,
Huge star.
like A-list
Yeah.
celebrity?" She's so good in this movie.
I don't know that. Like I can't figure that out. The way that system works, it's sort of like when you ask yourself, "Why wasn't Bruce Campbell a big actor?" You're just
Yeah.
like, "What the fuck do you guys want
So
out there in
fun.
Hollywood?"
Yeah,
But like she like, I don't know how many actresses I can think of that go to such like a raw place,
yeah,
right? Because it's like very, 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 very uncomfortable, especially the subject matter. Because when you watch it, you're just like a fan of the show Twin Peaks, right? But like when you actually get into her story, it's so like sad and it's kind of a very ugly story, and she matches all the appropriate emotions. It doesn't feel phoned in. I just feel like she dived into the whole thing, and it's like it's a great performance.
Yeah. And Chris Isaac is in this.
Chris Isaac, David Bowie shows up for a spell.
That blew my mind. I wasn't ready for that. I love David Bowie.
Me too.
So I was like, oh sweet, he's in this, and then he kind of just disappears. But he's in it briefly, but it's still awesome.
But here's the funny thing, because you haven't seen the third season yet, right?
Right.
So like one of the most random moments in that entire film is when Philip Jeffries shows up, right? Like he just kind of like walks in, and you're like, oh, he's just saying all this wacky shit, and you're like,
yeah.
But then
You have no idea how important that scene is.
that scene specifically in the third season. It's like what everything hangs on.
Shut up.
I'm
That's
not kidding.
Amazing. That's awesome.
Specifically, there's this right in that scene where he's like, "We're not gonna talk about Judy no more."
Yeah.
Judy is extremely important to season 3.
And what does he?
Twin
What does he
Peaks.
say? What does he say about Cooper? He's like,
Oh, and
who
he's
do you
like,
think
"That's
that
not-
is there?"
That what happened?
He goes like, who do you think that is there? And
Yeah.
pointing at Cooper, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Because essentially, like, I think the reason this movie got such a bad rap is because a lot of people expected this to follow what happened at the end of Twin Peaks. Because in the 90s, that's kind of what you do. If you're going to make a movie of your TV show, you're going to just follow up the events of the finale. And Lynch is like, that's not what I do. And I think in the end, it was the right thing to do because this movie, I think it's one of the best. I think it's Mulholland Drive and this are my two favorite David Lynch movies. This one is my number one though, because of how much I love Twin Peaks and like what this movie does and what Sheryl Lee specifically does. Is like she has this emotional brutality without a safety net.
That's a good way to put that.
There's no baitiness to this performance. It's raw, and like from the jump, there's like a rawness to her, to everything she does. And then when we get to the end, and I know EJ will dive into it, when we get to the end and she sees those angels, it's such a powerful moment because of everything you've been through. Because the way I watch this movie is the way I felt. Actually, it's in the conversation now. The way I felt watching Twin Peaks, Fire Walk with Me, is the way I felt playing The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
Ironically, with what happened this week, I felt every inch of Laura's suffering by the time I needed a cold shower by the time I finished the movie. And that just goes to show the power of her performance. And we're going to talk about the movie as a whole, but like she is just, oh my God. It's one of my favorite performances of all time, to be honest.
I honestly can't, like, so this movie was 1993?
1992.
92.
Premiered at Cannes and got booed.
I can't think of a better female performance in the 90s.
No.
Right?
Great performances can come to your mind, but that one is like, it's so specific and honest.
Yeah.
And
I honestly
raw.
can't
We'll
think
probably
of...
keep using that word to describe it, but it is a very, very, very raw performance.
Jodie Foster won for Clarice Starling, right?
Yeah.
In 92?
Yes, 91.
91. So, like, that role is amazing, right?
Yeah.
And iconic.
It's like legendary.
But I feel like there's something about this performance,
Yeah.
right? Like, should have gotten that same
Something.
recognition.
Or
Like,
at least a nomination.
yeah.
She essentially turns like a myth into a human being because we spent two seasons of just like, what is Laura Palmer? She's just
Right.
this myth, this aura, and she turns into like a human being. And it's just like, fuck, man, it's so good.
Dude, I think that was something I wanted to talk about with actually what you were getting into about how people didn't really receive it very well when it first came out. Because you're correct. The way season 2 ends, you want to know what happens with one of the greatest TV characters of all time. Like, you leave it in such a place where you're like, what the fuck? And then it's like, okay, we're bringing it back, but as a prequel. And so you're like, oh, we're going backwards, not forward. So I imagine that frustrated people. But one of the big arguments, because I did research.
What?
I did.
You did research for
I
prequels?
know. I feel terrible. Now I need to take a shower. No, I know that one of the complaints people had was they're like, well, we already know what happened to her. Why do we need to have like a whole movie about it? And the thing is, like, why I completely disagree with that is that, like, you hear about who Laura is through Bobby, through Donna, through James. All these different people have like this idea.
My favorite, Leo. Yeah. They all have like a different idea of who Laura is. And she has a line in the movie that really hits it, where she says like I forget exactly how it's worded, but she says like, nobody really knows me, not even Donna. Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, we only, at the end of the day, sometimes only know fragments of people that we love. And this movie turns her into a person and not just like interpretations that people had of her. Yeah. And I think the person as a whole is really worth exploring as a character.
Right.
And I think Lynch did a perfect job. And weird thing, why I love him, he made a very difficult choice with this movie. Because I know he filmed like hours and hours of shit. Like, I guess like the script was like much longer. And there were like moments that had the characters from Twin Peaks, like the characters that you love. Like, you get to see like all the people that you spent 2 seasons with. Ones who showed up again, ones who came back.
Right.
But he filmed a lot of it, and then he didn't use it because they didn't fulfill any real like story purposes for Laura. They weren't part of Laura's orbit. So it's like, yeah, it's like fanfare, but the movie needed to be about her.
Right.
So it's like you take all these really great scenes and you cut them out for the sake of like actually telling a story about like a broken person drifting into the darkness. I'm like, that's like
I've seen the 3 hour and 40-minute cut of that movie. I kind of wish they've released it, like an actual release of it, because while they do take some stuff out, which takes away from Laura's story, there's stuff that's in there that should still be in there. Especially the first introduction to the convenience store is longer than what we get in the movie.
I'm referring more so to like going back to like the characters from Twin Peaks, the ones that don't necessarily serve any real purpose to the story of Laura Palmer.
Not enough Nadine for you?
Oh, God damn it. There was too much Nadine. God damn Nadine. No, I just
Robin,
feel
maybe?
like, when you're writing a script, it's like you can have a lot of tangential shit in there if you want to, but it just muddies the whole thing. And like I think just like removing things that took away from her story was a smart choice. Now, if you're talking about that kind of stuff that actually fulfills some of the points involving her, then yeah, I agree that should be in there. But
Yeah.
whatever. But let's get into this fucking movie.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I'm sick
Yeah.
of being with you guys.
So the film starts with Agent Gordon Cole putting in a call for
Hey,
Agent
wait,
Chester.
Before we get into the plot,
Yeah.
I would like to just comment on the fact that this movie starts with the smashing of a television,
Yes.
as if it's either saying "fuck television" and my experience with television, or it's just saying or it's just kind of saying like we are no longer on the small screen, we are now on the big screen. Like,
I
we
think
are
it's
away
the
from
first.
television.
I think it's the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And shout out to Angelo Badalamenti's score, because that opening theme is
so good.
phenomenal. And then the Pink Room, which I'm sure you'll talk about later.
Yeah, because that was the thing I messaged you about immediately.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this fucking music? You know the music that's playing in the Pink Room?
Yeah.
Like, I've listened to that constantly. It's
I've
like
never seen a movie where it purposely is so loud that you have to include subtitles of an English film in your English movie.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's a cool choice.
I love that.
Anyway.
But yeah, so the film starts with Agent Cole calling in for Agent Chester Desmond, who we see is arresting the school bus driver and like two ladies.
It's like arresting of a driver and prostitutes, and
Yes.
it's like on a school bus. So it's
Full of kids.
And they're crying, and you're
Yeah,
like,
they're all like, "Ah."
could we have a spinoff of what was going
What
on
is
in this
that?
scene?
I can't wait. I want to get your thoughts, like when we dive more into that town. I'm so curious to what you guys think about Bizarro Twin Peaks. Like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
everything about that town.
So Gordon informs Agent Desmond about the death of a 17-year-old named Teresa Banks, and that Gordon will meet Agent Desmond at an airport in Portland, Oregon. So when Desmond meets up at the airport, he also meets Sam Stanley, played by Kiefer Sutherland.
Who's a great looking character.
Yeah, I love how he just lugs around that equipment that solved the Whitman case or whatever it was. But yeah, so
I think
he's
his little bow tie.
yeah, the bow tie. He just looks like
This is David
yeah.
from the Lost Boys, and he comes off so like mild mannered in this movie.
Yeah,
like,
he's-
Kiefer Sutherland's a really good actor.
he has like a Boy Scout quality
Yeah.
to him. But yeah, he is assigned to work with Chet, and Gordon Cole is like, "Oh, I have a surprise for you too," which is this girl named Lil, and she comes out. She's wearing like a red dress with a little blue flower,
Blue Rose.
a little blue rose, and she does like this weird dance where she's like twisting, turning, and then her face is all scrunched up, and that's like the whole surprise. And I do love how David Lynch does. Oh, Gordon like does the hand over the face, right?
Yeah.
And
What I love about that scene, that is how I sum up David Lynch.
yeah,
Where somebody would watch that moment and be like, "Oh, this is just weird for the sake of weird," and then you get into them talking about what it all meant. There's
Yeah.
meaning within all the quirky shit.
absolutely.
Like it's like
Yeah.
if you like read into it, there's always something there. It's not just like weird shit for weird shit.
Yeah.
So I love that whole like, because I remember I was watching. I'm like, what the fuck is going? Oh, they're smarter than me.
Yeah. No. So in the car, Sam Stanley and Chet are discussing what the surprise really meant, and they decode like every single little thing that Lil did. He's like, "Oh, the scrunched up face means there's like the police are gonna be a problem. The local police, and they're not great, and they won't be much help. Plus, there's like a whole drug thing going on too." And I love how they just like decode it. He's like, "Did you notice anything weird about the dress?" He's like, "Oh yeah, there was like something about the seam." He's like, "Yeah, you know what that means, right?" And so I love that scene. It's so good.
I'm telling you, man, it's a great like visual for what I think of as far as like David Lynch's filmmaking goes.
Yeah,
It might seem weird, but there's a point to all of it.
absolutely. Yeah. And so the two agents then meet the local sheriff, and and they're at first they're waiting for him, and as they're waiting, the one cop comes out, right, and he starts to like be like, like a dick to them, basically.
We are now in Bizarro Twin Peaks, Dave.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't. I'm watching that movie for the first time, and I'm like, all right, I know what he's trying to say. This is basically just him like disrespecting. Like, I think the middle half of season 2 of Twin Peaks, because to me, it's like this is what happens when you make bad television. I know you love your boy. What the fuck is his name?
Batman.
No, from Titanic.
Oh,
Billy Zane.
I know you love him in this middle half of season 2 of Twin Peaks, but that fucking shit is garbage when David Lynch leaves.
Yeah.
So the Bizarro Twin Peaks actually just like, I feel like he's just shitting on everything that happened in between him leaving and coming back from Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Also, everyone's so inept at their job in the Bizarro Twin Peaks, and everyone's just such an asshole. And Chester Desmond, I think, obviously, he is this. I guess he's supposed to be our Agent Cooper for the first couple of minutes of the movie. And I don't think he's very good at his job either. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree on that. Everything about the first 35 minutes of this movie is just how not to do your job correctly is what I got from it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I also think that this scene does? I don't know if this was intentional or not, or like how you feel about this, Dave. But when Cooper first arrives in Twin Peaks, he's very like, wow, like look at this town. Like it's like, it's so like old world,
old
it's
fashioned.
Like, it's like wow, like they've got these kind of trees here. They got cherry pie.
What kind of tree is that?
Perfect.
Yeah.
And like I think that these agents are just used to like people being like this, and that's what makes Twin Peaks so special.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like something. It's like this perfect little corner of the world that's being slowly infested by evil, and I also think that's also part of like the motivation that Cooper has, is that it's sort of like, I don't want this to ruin this perfect little town. But that I think that world, this Bizarro Twin Peaks, is like literally like what they're used to seeing and the kind of help they're used to getting, because they all do seem very like, oh, okay, whatever, just fucking let me have the body. I have to go solve a murder. Yes. I don't know that
and like shit, even when they go like to the bootleg double R. It's even like when they go to dinner, there's like no one. There's like one person, some old lady working, and she just like doesn't give a shit about helping Chester. And man, it's David Lynch. I'll say that. By the way, shout out to Gordon Cole and the way he says Oregon.
Oregon
always makes me chuckle.
My name is David.
Gordon.
My name is Gordon Cole.
I love how he shouts like, I don't know.
His hearing is fucked.
Yeah.
So he has to have that little hearing device.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite characters in like,
Ever?
the entire series.
Oh,
he's so fucking funny. And even when he first makes an appearance in season 2, and he's like, "We have to speak in private, Coop." And you can hear everyone on the outside is just listening to everything.
They're just like, oh man.
Oh yeah, he's like, they go into the room to talk privately.
Yep.
It cuts outside the room and
And
everyone
hears
hears
everything.
them.
Yeah.
What's going on in Twin Peaks? Coop.
So they meet Sheriff Cable, who isn't really crazy about like wanting the help from the feds or anything. And I love that they give that like little moment, and they do this a lot like throughout the whole movie. They'll give like extra little details for a character, and he has like an award for bending a metal pipe.
Yep.
And later on, you see like Laura Palmer's mother is like trying to learn German for some reason. So I love that, those like weird little details for a character that is either important or not really important at all.
There's a scene that was cut out. I was watching it before.
Yeah.
Of Desmond and that Sheriff Cable like beating each other up outside.
Yeah.
They have like a fight, and I'm like, well, I get why this was cut, but boy, that was entertaining. Because he goes out there and he starts bending
the metal.
Yeah,
oh my god,
like, what is this?
That's so cool.
And Desmond beats the shit out of him, and then he picks one up and bends it. Like, it's just very funny stuff.
So then we see Desmond and Stanley head to the morgue, and they check out the body of Teresa Banks. And while they're inspecting this body, they find out she's missing her ring. And also, there's a tiny little piece of paper with the letter T on it. So the two end up grabbing food at a nearby diner and ask Teresa's former coworker, Irene, about Teresa. They're like, oh, could you tell us anything about her? It's like, yeah, I think she had like a bad case of cocaine. and the coworker hints, that her left arm went dead after a little bit, like before she died.
That's actually something they started messing around with in the show Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
There was always like a thing that would happen where their arms would get all twitchy and stuff. That's something. They don't elaborate on what it is.
I don't know what it is, but it's something. Like you always, like, since you've dived more into Lynch, so I don't think anything he does is not purposeful.
Yeah.
There's always some motivation to it.
Later in the movie, Laura Palmer, when she's in her bed, is having a hard time with her one arm.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you ever fell asleep on your arm and it's just like...
Miserable. I have.
Yeah, me too. It's
Can
awful.
I take a stab at it? Because
Yeah.
Mike, the missing arm.
Oh, the arm?
Yeah.
Is there some sort of thing with that?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, there's like maybe some link to that.
Yeah, like you're being like touched or controlled by
Yeah.
whatever the hell he is.
Yeah.
Something. There's something. There's some connection.
Correlation for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. So the next day, the two go to check out Teresa's trailer home. And that's when we meet Harry Dean Stanton.
Dean Stanton. He's awesome.
I love him. He's so awesome.
So I'm always so happy to see him.
Yes.
You ever see Paris, Texas?
Yeah, I love that movie.
One of the greatest
Vendors, yeah.
dialogue scenes of all time is in that movie.
He's so good. But yeah, he is like the owner or like caretaker of this trailer park. And so he's like, yeah, I'll take you over to her trailer. So he lets them inside and stuff. And at one point, Desmond finds a picture of Teresa, and she's wearing a ring that's it's green. or
Yes,
whatever.
it has
Yeah.
it's green and it has the logo or the symbol on it.
Yeah. And then I love that, at one point this like little old lady comes in and they try to ask her a question and she has like maybe like dirt all over her face.
Soot or something.
Yeah. But she doesn't say anything.
Something about soot and things of that nature may come back in the third season. Don't want to ruin it for you.
Oh,
but
okay.
There's something.
She looked like Mama Fratelli from like the Goonies. But
Good pull.
Yeah. So hey, there's Vince. Hey, buddy.
Vince is currently preparing
Our live event
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. You do?
Oh my god,
at
that's
you.
awesome. So yeah,
We really need to get him back and do another intervention.
yeah, we do for sure. So the two agents head into the sheriff's, and the sheriff says that they're not allowed to take the body because outside, we hear that Sam Stanley made a call to pick up Teresa Banks' body and stuff. So the sheriff's like, "You're not taking the body," and I love how like Desmond is like, yeah, we're
just
taking
gonna do it. Nothing
Yeah,
you can do
we're
about
just
it.
yeah. There's nothing you can do about it. And but I didn't know they had like a whole fight outside.
Yeah. They
Oh,
they mess each other up pretty well.
And would that be here probably?
I
around
don't know.
this area.
I mean,
Okay.
it could have been like that was supposed to be something that happened afterwards
Yeah,
because they're like pretty bloodied up. But they could have reshot that whole thing and just kind of took it in a different direction.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
fight I think it takes place outside of I think it's a station, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like all the cops are like laughing. They're like, he's gonna beat him, and then he gets his ass kicked. It's pretty good.
it's good.
Cable gets his ass kicked.
So Stanley heads off.
Oh wait, I like when they ask about the ring
Oh yeah,
because he asks him about like if there was like a ring, and he's like, we got a phone here. It's got a little ring.
and I love like the assistant deputy or whatever. He's like, ah, he starts laughing.
He loves that guy's comedy.
He is so in. Yeah.
You could see Cable perform at Chuckles on Friday nights.
Yeah. So Stanley heads off with the body, and Desmond's like, you know what? I want to take one more look because of the rose, right? He's like, I got to go back for that blue rose part. And so he goes back to the trailer park, And as he's looking around and inspecting, he noticed there's this one large spot.
It's like a mound.
Of dirt. And he's like, was there a trailer here? And I love how Harry Dean Stanton's like, yeah, there was. Like, you idiot. But as he's looking around, he notices a light come on in another trailer. And so he like walks towards that trailer, and then underneath he finds like the ring, and then it just like fades out, and then we cut over to Philadelphia. And so I was like, oh man, because I was like really into the whole Desmond stuff. I was like into the character and stuff. So I was like, oh, I hope they come back to that, right?
Never.
And they never do.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
I just asked him too.
Rory asked me. Yeah, Rory asked me right after. He's like, oh, did we ever find out what happened to Chester Desmond? I'm like, no. I don't think you're supposed to.
Yeah.
People that get involved with that Blue Rose stuff typically disappear, so.
As they mentioned in season 3 of Twin Peaks.
Spoilers.
Well, they do mention Chester Desmond, and they do mention him.
They do.
They just said he disappeared and he never returned.
He didn't return for the return.
Oh, okay. Was he like problematic on set, or was it just like just a character
I think it
thing?
It was purposeful.
Oh, okay, okay.
It was all those wicked games he'd play.
I did a bad thing. Wanna fall in love. Oh my god! Yeah, when I was like, Chris Isaac is in this.
Yeah.
But anyways,
he's given a real like Mulder from like the first couple seasons of X-Files.
Yeah, and his face is always like, I'm really confused, but kind of cool too.
Which is Ryan Coogler's next film too.
What's her name on stage?
Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz, and then Jim Carrey was not having it.
Yeah.
Up on stage and made out with Chris Isaac.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, at the MTV Music Awards, right?
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
You're good.
You goddamn bastard. So the two agents head to the sheriff's, and all this happens. But when we cut back to him in the trailer park, it just like fades out, and then it's like Philly, PA, right? Which is where David Lynch is from.
Yep. Well, not from, but it's like where it's probably the most. From what I gather from like documentaries I've seen, he always credits Philadelphia as being like one of the most important parts of his life.
I know that for Eraserhead, especially, he like tried to capture the environment of like what Philly was. But anyways, in Philly, we meet the hero of the TV show Twin Peaks, Dale Cooper, who goes to Gordon to tell him about his dream, right? And he's like, I have to tell you, there's the stuff going on in my dream. And that's when they get a visit from David Bowie, Phil Jeffries. And this scene like plays out. I can't even explain it because it's a very strange way of how it happens. But basically, it's like they're trying to not interrogate Jeffries, but he's like telling his story. And then
he disappeared for a couple years.
Yes.
Like fell off the map.
And then he's there, and they're all surprised, and he says some stuff that you're not sure what he's talking about.
At the time when you saw this, you're just like, why is this scene here?
Yeah.
And then, like, seriously, it's like if this was like 1992 and you watch this, you're like, that was completely unnecessary, and you could cut that out. If you cut it out, a lot of season 3 doesn't happen.
That's
because the only thing that makes sense in 1982 would be that he's recognizing that's not Coop. Literally it. The only line of dialogue. Everything else, you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
He's talking about Judy, and then like, who do you think that is there, pointing at Cooper, and you're like, oh god, like Lynch was. I don't know if he had this all planned out, or had some idea in his head of where this was all going, but man, for a scene that comes off very
for the long haul,
he's on a different level,
planting those seeds.
And in the extended cut of this movie, that scene is extended too. So there's a lot more Bowie in it too.
I watched it earlier, and I was like,
you did?
Yeah, it's good stuff. I like that thing that said we live inside a dream. That's another thing that I think really encapsulates the entire, like, I guess we could say franchise. Of Twin Peaks.
Okay.
That comes back a lot, and that's explored a lot within the series.
And So as they're trying to get info from Phil Jeffries, David Bowie, there's like insert cuts to like this weird dreamlike world, right?
And where are we, Dave? So like when we see
It's like the man from another place.
The convenience store.
above the convenience store,
Above the
Yes.
convenience store.
which again is mentioned in like one of the first episodes of Twin Peaks.
But you
And-
don't know the creation until season 3, how
Yeah.
that's actually created.
And when
which
you get
is-
there,
it's one of the best pieces of art ever made.
it is one of 100%. I'll never be able to explain like how much of a fucking emotional reaction I had to that 8th episode.
Yeah.
But like,
And that-
there's a lot of what this is explained in that episode.
That whole sequence too, not episode 8, but just the whole convenience store sequence is probably, to me, one of the most terrifying pieces of film ever. Like,
Yeah.
just with everything, because if you pay attention, it's Bob and the arm, and they're going back and forth, but it's the background that I always pay attention to. Like,
Oh,
you have
sure.
the guy that's
Right, like the-
dancing, you had baby David Lynch sitting in the corner,
Yeah.
and all the woodsmen and everything going on behind them, and then he finishes off with this ring, Ivy wet. I'm just like, what the fuck,
Yep,
man?
yep,
This is so
ring.
intoxicating.
Yeah.
It's hypnotizing is the right word for me.
Yeah, the little kid with the like white
Yeah,
mask.
baby David Lynch.
Yeah, and his grandmother supposedly
Mrs. Who, yeah,
yeah.
last episode of season 3.
Oh,
that,
man.
that name definitely comes back.
Yeah, and so we see inserts of like the the convenience store above the convenience store, and then and like going back to Phil Jeffries sitting on a chair like telling them like stuff, and then all of a sudden he disappears. And then you hear, Gordon Cole go, "Where'd he go?" And he's like freaking out.
Where did he go, Coop?
Yeah. And so then Cooper's like, let me run and check the tapes. And it's like, oh no, he was here. Like he was legit here. And he was on like scene coming down the hallway. So we were talking with him. It wasn't like something we collectively imagined. So it's just really, it's a cool scene.
It's
I don't know.
important.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. They also find out, that Agent Chester, there's a phone call, and that's when, what's his name? Miguel Ferrera's character. I can't think of his name. But anyways,
Albert.
yeah. He picks up the phone, and he's like, yeah, Agent Desmond has disappeared. Like, we don't know what happened to him. And that's when Dale Cooper then goes and travels to Portland, Oregon.
Oh, it's funny when Cooper is going there.
Yeah.
He has his tape recorder and he's talking to Diane.
Yeah.
And he said that it was 4:20 p.m. and I laughed out loud because when I was watching the episode to get prepared for this
It was 4:20?
When I was watching the movie to get prepared for this episode, it was on Easter, which was 4:20 this year.
Oh,
So I
that's
was like,
great.
that's funny.
That's awesome.
Means nothing to anybody, but it meant a lot to me.
But yeah, Agent Cooper, he gets to the same trailer park where Desmond disappeared, and he notices a vacant spot as well that once belonged to the Chalfonts, which was like a mother and grandson. And he also sees Desmond's abandoned car. Written on it, it says, "Let's rock."
Let's rock.
Let's rock. Yeah. And it looks like it was written in like either like red paint or some kind of like lipstick or something. It's never really determined. But then we jump to Twin Peaks 1 year later.
And you get to see that sign.
Yeah.
And you hear the music come in.
The opening credits.
And
Yeah.
it's literally like, to make it appropriate to the show, it's like a nice piece of warm cherry pie.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just feel
like
like,
we're
home. Yeah, exactly.
We're home.
Yeah. So we see Laura Palmer and Donna Haywood walking.
It doesn't like when you first see Laura, doesn't it sort of have like a later Nightmare on Elm Street sequel vibe to it? Like Laura looks like she could have been in like one of those nightmare movies.
100%. Yeah.
She got a little like at times like a little bit of like a Lisa Wilcox look to her.
Yeah, Alice, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. You could definitely see some Alice
Yeah.
there, yeah. But yeah, Laura Palmer and Donna Haywood walk to school.
And it's so cool seeing her. Like, she's just, like, alive. She's, like, not wrapped up in plastic or in a morgue or in a grave. It's just, like, you're getting to see her, like, live and breathe. And I think that was also, like, David Lynch's thing, too. It's, like, I think he wanted to see her, like, get to experience the character. Because I think he, like, really, like, fell in love with that character throughout the course of it.
The whole show's built on her.
Everything is predicated on her death and, like, what she meant to people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's cool.
I think it's such a cool end for, like, to do a story like that.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, Laura Palmer and Donna Haywood. So, like, the original actress didn't return. Do you know why?
Stacy Alert.
Oh, really?
No, I don't know.
I have no idea. I was just curious.
She's in Wayne's World.
Yeah, Stacy. Yeah.
No. I heard. Dave, you might know a little bit more about this than I do.
I sure do.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Enlighten me on why she didn't show back.
So-
Laura Flynn Boyle.
Laura
right?
Flynn Boyle.
Originally, she had issues with certain storylines with season 2 because she was dating Kyle MacLachlan at the time. So she did not
Lucky girl.
want- So she season 2 kind of shifts Audrey and Coop's storyline. That was supposed to go in a different direction, and she vetoed it. So when the time came for the movie to come in, she was one of the people that found no desire to return and kind of just moved on from Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
I personally think she just had like this thing against the show after what happened. Because if you remember season 2, like her story completely goes like off the rails by the end of it. Where like
She's got a real look on her face like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah. And you kind of see it. And I mean, it goes into season 3. She didn't want to return for season 3 either. She's one of the only ones she's one of the only ones that was actually alive that chose not to return.
Wow.
Now, let me tell you why it was a blessing for this movie. Because I thought about this.
Yeah.
Laura Flynn Boyle, she has more of like a mature face, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, like she plays a high schooler. She looks a little older, right? This actress for this movie,
Moira
Kelly from the West Wing fame.
Yes.
Yeah.
She looks like she looks like almost like a teen. And there's like an innocence about her.
I was gonna say she looks like she has more like a innocent.
Yeah, and so in comparison to Laura, it really really helps. Honestly,
Yeah.
kind of like
especially later. With
yeah,
the, like,
there's
purity.
like
yeah.
they're supposed to be like the same age, and like Laura seems so much more like just older and more experienced than she does, and you can kind of see that Donna, like, in a sense, wants to be like her, right?
Yeah.
And she just has, like, that innocent kid thing about her. And I think that would have been lost. There's a moment I'll talk about it more when we get to it. But there's this point in it where I'm just like, if it was Laura Flynn Boyle, I don't think the moment would have landed for me the same way.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
I agree.
But I actually, it's one of those, like, I'm not always a big fan of recastings, but this was a time where I was like, hey, this was a blessing.
Did Donna Haywood at all show up for the 3rd season?
No.
Like more? No. Oh, okay.
No, that one Lynch. I think they asked Lynch, and I don't quote me. I may be wrong here, but I know some conversation was had where they said that there was really no story for her as to where they ended up in season 2. Like that was it.
Yeah.
There was really no purpose for her to return.
Yeah, it's like her and James. They just burn out in that show.
Well, James fucking sucks. So glad he burned out.
James kind of pulled a Poochie from The Simpsons. I have to go now. My planet needs me. And then they pull the slide up and it disappears. He's just like literally like, I'm going to California now. And you're like, okay.
It's like the young daughter on Family Matters. She just went upstairs and never came back down.
Or Happy Days.
Yeah.
Chuck, was that his name? He went upstairs, never to return.
I didn't know that about James. Yeah.
We got it.
Pretty cool. So yeah, Laura Palmer and Donna Haywood, they walk to school, and Laura does a little cocaine before homeroom.
Hey, but I like that on her
Don't
way.
we all?
Yeah. Before every recording. I like that on her way to school, you get to see some return characters.
Yes,
You get to see Mike, which is cool.
Yeah.
Mike was a part of the show. Bobby, you see James.
Yeah.
Little cocaine?
We got
Yeah.
cocaine up here, Vince.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
I thought I heard.
You need a bump?
You know what? Add that to the list.
Add that to the list.
So
There's a sequel to our intervention coming up.
but no, I like, yeah, you see, James and Bobby and Mike and just, all the high school.
Yeah, it's
kids.
a cool
Yeah.
feeling because you're just like, oh, like I like seeing these characters again.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, so Laura and James talk turkey, which I love all that dialogue. It's like turkeys.
He's like the dumbest bird ever.
Dumbest
She's like,
bird
gobble,
ever.
gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble, baby. I'm like,
Gobble, gobble.
this is great. It's I don't know. That dialogue was awesome. And then
I like when she's like talking to him though, and there is like a little undercurrent thing going on of her talking about how she's like already gone. That's kind of important.
Yes,
it's like,
yeah.
It's almost like her, whether she's consciously aware of it or not, knows she's not long for this world.
yeah,
There's a lot of stuff what she's saying in that moment, mainly because I wrote it down. I'm already gone.
gobble gobble. And at one point we have to do Thanksgiving, I think it's called.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird movie.
Oh, and Dave, in my notes, I put, "Hey, it's James, Dave's favorite character."
Oh, really?
I mean, him singing "Only You" in season 2, or with Maddie and Donna. I mean, that's a highlight of my life. Just listening to that.
And they bring it
and
back.
then he gets to do it again in season 3.
I didn't hate it.
Didn't need it.
You are the only person I've ever met that watched Twin Peaks that likes James. Literally the only person.
I like James. I like. I stand by what Shelley said in season 3. She's like, James was always cool.
Shelley. Oh man. And
Shelley's
then his only contribution to season 3 is bringing in that stupid kid with the Incredible Hulk hand that I don't want to spoil for EJ.
Jesus
but
Christ! You just get to the show so we can talk about it.
Yeah, I definitely have to. So we get where they are talking, and at one point, James asks her like not to leave, and she's like, "I'm already gone." And then they start smooching a little bit, and then it cuts to after school, and Bobby gets like a little jealous. He's like, "Where were you? Who were you with?" Because him and Laura are supposed to be
Together.
an item,
Yeah.
and he is suspecting like she is maybe with someone else or doing stuff that she's not supposed to, with other people. And Bobby is just like a weird character. I feel like he's
I like Bobby a lot.
yeah, he's just like he's so mad and angry all the time, and then he'll have like these weird stupid moments that I'm like, I like that. I don't know.
Bobby has a great arc.
Yeah.
But
one of the only ones that has like a really
strong
arc and finishes off strong.
It's like a thing. There's actually a moment in the original show where his father's talking about this dream that he had of him. He's like, I saw you when you were older, you were grown up, and he's like, and you were happy. And like, Bobby just starts like rolling some tears and stuff, and you're just like, that's a beautiful moment. Yeah. And it really gave me hope that Bobby would like get his shit together, because he does seem very like angry and lost. And it's like he's trying to like be more than he can be, really.
Yeah.
And then where he ends up by the 3rd season, I'm like, yeah, that's a great place for him to go.
Yeah. That's good. So Laura,
but in that moment though, just not to blow past this too quick, this is an example of how wonderful an actor Cheryl Lee is, because when Bobby comes out, she's basically like, piss off, Bobby, and just get the fuck out of here. And he kind of gets more aggressive, and then she just wins him back, and it's such a smooth thing where at first she looks like annoyed by him, and then she kind of just does this like little flirty like smile and wins him back, and it's so natural and flows so well. Yeah. I mean, just going from like one emotion and then just very swiftly slipping into the next like that is like, I got chills watching that.
Yeah. It kind of goes into like what season 1 was like the perspective of everyone, how they saw her, right? And so she just slipped into what Bobby liked and saw about her, right? Like, I love that. So Laura and Donna discuss Bobby and James and the major difference between the two. And you could see that Donna Haywood kind of is like, oh, really dreamy about James. Like, she's like, oh, he's so hot and he writes poetry or something, right?
She's
and
like when Mike ever write a poem and they're like, ha ha ha, Mike's
Yeah.
stupid.
Poor Mike. So then we get to see where Laura gets home and she's about to.
Well, one little thing in this scene, because this is the scene you like a lot, Dave. This is your scene where they're like talking about angels. Because I have it here, like because Donna's like,
yes.
Donna's like,
Yes.
do you think that if you were falling in space that you would slow down after a while or go faster and faster? And Laura responds with faster and faster, and for a long time you wouldn't feel anything, and then you'd burst into fire forever, and the angels wouldn't help you because they've all gone away. And I'm like, fuck. Yeah. It's such like a. And the angels wouldn't help you because they've all gone away is so like,
Yeah.
it's just beautiful writing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk anymore.
Yeah. Shut up.
Shit.
No. So Laura gets home and she writes in her journal, well, she's about to, and she sees that some pages are missing.
And would you believe this is important for season 3? Those torn out pages come back in season 3.
Oh yeah, they do come back. Yes.
And she goes to her friend Harold, and
Fucking Harold.
fucking Harold, and
I'm glad he hung around. There's your joke, Dave. Thank you.
Standing ovation.
Thank
yeah,
you. No, I'm actually. I was wondering if they were going to include Harold in this movie, because I know he was part of her past and stuff, and I'm like, I wonder if they're going to bring that guy back in there. He was. He's like a weird shut-in. That was his whole thing.
It's funny. I was watching
Agoraphobia,
Miami
right?
Vice because I'm watching Miami. I haven't seen it in a while, so I've been rewatching episodes and stuff. And all of a sudden, in an episode this weekend, fucking Harold shows up, and I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah. He was like, because like Laura would do this like Meals on Wheels program,
Right,
And
yeah.
that was one of her stops, and like Harold is like, he has like real bad anxiety or something. He's like terrified to step
Is it
outside of his house.
agoraphobia?
He's like agoraphobic, yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I was like, I wonder if they're gonna stick him in there, and there he was for one scene. I was just glad to see they included him.
Yeah, hell yeah. And at one point she's like, yeah, I think Bob took them, and she starts freaking out, saying that Bob wants to be her, or will end up killing her, right? And that Bob has been haunting her since she was about 12.
He's had her since
12.
She was 12. That's very important.
Yeah.
It's she is a child of molestation, which is awful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what she's
Yeah.
referring to.
Oh, okay. And so, yeah, she ends up leaving Harold with the whole diary itself, and
Oh, that's okay. That's another thing here. She says Bob is real. He's been having me since I was 12.
yeah,
That's like the line in it. So it's like a lot of this is literally about sexual abuse. This movie.
yeah. So I thought it was like Bob was like haunting her, but I didn't know that. That's crazy.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
No, as soon as
Wow.
if you've never seen the show and watched the movie, you would probably get that idea. But knowing who represents Bob, you're just like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's like really that's when like the real depth of her performance shines through. There's like a couple moments involving who Bob is
Yeah.
inside of, technically.
Right.
That just it hits hard. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah. So then we see where Dale Cooper chats with Albert and his suspicions on his next case, and he basically describes Laura Palmer. He's like, yeah, she's blonde, she's in high school, has a drug habit.
He's sexually active. He's like, that's every fucking kid in high school across America.
Fucking kid. Yeah. I love Miguel Ferrer.
Me too, man.
He's such a great actor. He's just great in everything. I love him in The Stand. I think he's great in that movie. And of course RoboCop. But so anyways, Laura Palmer spots this old woman and a kid in a mask And we know them from like that David Bowie sequence, right? And Laura runs off home because like her and Shelly are kind of like doing the Meals on Wheels.
Yeah,
kind
like
of thing.
Shelly's kind of loading up the car for her so
Yeah.
she can do it. And by the way, great
Yeah.
to see both of them. You know,
Yeah.
like just seeing like Shelly and
Oh yeah.
and Nora has the shorter hair for some reason.
Oh,
she
yeah.
must have cut her hair between like the point in which the show wrapped and when they filmed this movie. But I liked seeing both of them at the Double R. I guess they also that was like a different restaurant, and they made it look exactly the same, or
I
that
think
was
so.
or that was the case for the third season. I forget which one it was, but anyway, whenever I saw that diner and I got excited, the Double R.
And when Laura runs home, that's when she sees Bob in her room and freaks out. And I always love how they shot Bob kind of like always creeping up from the floor.
Do you know what the thing with Bob is, by the way? Like where he came from?
No.
It was like an accident.
I heard that. Like he was like accidentally in a frame or
Yeah.
something.
He was in the frame of the final shot of the pilot, and David Lynch said, "Okay,"
We're gonna use you someday.
and that's it.
Wow.
He was in episode 2 like purposefully, and the rest is history.
Your name's
Wow.
gonna be Bob.
I get to play a guy named Bob.
But he's like an incredible looking character.
Yeah, no, he looks creepy.
That
Like
was
he
just
looks
like
like
his-
a nightmare.
That was just his clothes and everything that he was wearing, and he's
The
just like,
Canadian tuxedo.
I wouldn't change a thing.
Keep that outfit. But yeah, so Laura gets home and she chats with her dad, and her dad is acting crazy and he's questioning Laura where she's
Well, you know what
got
happened
her
in that
necklace.
moment, right? So like,
Yeah.
she sees Bob upstairs and she freaks out, and runs
Right.
outside, and then who's the only other person in the house?
Oh yeah, so yeah, she sees her dad leaving, and then
Because her dad
she's like, no, it can't be,
can't be him.
right, it can't be him,
So Bob is dad.
right? Yeah, I know, it's
Yeah.
crazy. And then when Laura, gets home and she's chatting with her dad, you see that the dad is acting off kilter, right? Like he's very. He's like, where'd you get that
It's
necklace?
like fetishy.
Do you have this boyfriend? Like he
Like the stuff with the
Yeah.
hands. He's
And
like,
he's
oh,
like-
these hands are dirty. We're not
Yeah.
eating till Laura washes
her hands.
It's very
Yeah.
like, ew.
yeah, it's really it's
But
yeah.
her performance in that moment is like,
And the mom too. Like I feel like the mom is like,
you mean Andy Barkley, social worker?
yeah, Andy Barkley's social worker.
No,
Wait, really?
Yeah, in the Child's Play 2. Remember, like when
man.
when Chucky like comes alive, he's like, "Amazing, isn't it?" And he stabs her, and her face goes into the copy machine.
I'm looking that up while you guys.
Yeah, man. No, I like that. Yeah, the mother has like a real Sarah Palmer.
Yeah.
She has like a real like there's a realness to her character too. It's very subtle stuff. It's
She
like
gets
when
like premonitions too, right?
yeah,
or
it's like
something.
in the
I don't
show.
remember.
It's
yeah,
down the road a little bit. There's actually some stuff that happens in the third season as well that I don't want to ruin. But
Yeah.
she has that sort of vibe to her of like a mother who knows that like the father is like beating one of the kids and isn't doing anything. Like she
Yeah.
knows something's wrong. So there's like I don't know if she feels like complicit because of her like inactivity towards the whole thing. But it's she's great in that. But fucking Laura Palmer like looks like it's like she's like disturbed. She's like I don't know, like kind of like frozen in terror.
Yeah.
Just like I don't know, man. It's like a really like strong unpleasant thing to watch.
yeah. It's man, it's so good. And so then we see later on that night that the dad is crying and he apologizes to Laura. And Leland's like, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah.
Hey, before we shift forward, Dave.
Yeah.
Question about Leland. So, I think on the show it's very obvious that Bob is just like this thing that's making Leland do the things that he's doing. The movie gives me the impression that some of this stuff is in Leland. So like some of his like way that he's like looking and reacting to his daughter does sort of seem like it's there outside of Bob also. Do you get that from
I didn't take that.
Because I did.
Because Bob takes control of him on the show in sporadic moments, and that's how I feel happens in the movie.
What is
Like
it like?
even
that
down,
he, what
like
is it-
even down, like the scene in the movie that kind of for me is my evidence is like the "you stole the corn" sequence. When Mike stops him and he's like, "You stole the corn," which is their Garmin Bazia, and Leland looks like he has no idea what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
I was thinking even just like when they're in the hotel, and he's just like, "You look just like my Laura." It seems very like he's not quite Bob. He's not quite Leland. I'm just wondering if some of this ugliness was in him somewhere.
Like a sub version of himself.
Yeah,
but
like it's like Bob is like feeding off of some ugliness that's in him also.
and it heightens.
Because he's like parasitic, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like all the evil that was inside of Leland that maybe he kept down has now heightened up to the surface.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the vibe. You don't get that so much on the show, but in the movie,
this,
I was kind of getting traces of.
I could see that. Like,
Yeah.
for sure. No, I could definitely see that. But yeah, then Laura hangs up a portrait of this door. Like she got like a picture. And
What Mrs. Tremont gave her, that photo that you would immediately burn in real life.
I think it's pretty cool.
I think I would set it on fire immediately.
I would hang it up. I think it's pretty cool. And then she starts to get weird visions that go along with the image of the door. Like it's almost like a Nightmare on Elm Street, right? Where
Very much.
you kind of go into the dream world of it. And
What if like Leland popped up and he's just like, "You're in my world now, bitch."
I'm your boy for now. Anyways, Dale Cooper also sees the man from another place and pleads for Laura not to take the ring, right? Like it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
and is that? And I'll ask you this question, Dave. He says, "Don't take the ring." Is it because if she puts the ring on, he's going to kill her?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like that's like something that if you have it on, Bob can't possess you.
Yeah, because the end game is he wants to leave
Right.
Leland and go to her.
Yeah,
That's why she ends up in the end. She puts the ring on it. Near the end.
Laura's sort of like a counterbalance to him because she's
Hence, episode 8.
yeah, she's like, I mean, if anything, very powerful because she's like this perfect balance of light and dark. Mm-hmm. And like, I think Bob could do some real fucking damage with her if he like actually did possess her. So the fact that it's just like, don't put the ring on is like, you put that ring on, this guy's possessing you or he's going to kill you. And it's really cool stuff.
And that's the same scene where you could see like her arm, she like has to pick it up to move it.
Yeah.
Too. Because she's hearing like the whispers of like the Cooper saying this stuff. And as Laura finally hears this lying in her bed, she gets a visit from Annie, like this ghost of Annie. And is she from the show?
She is.
She's from the end of season 2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And so
Heather Graham.
Oh, I thought she looked familiar. I didn't even realize. So you see that Annie is saying to trust the good Dale, right? She's like, yeah, trust him.
She's like, the good Dale is in the lodge.
Right. And she also gets the green ring, and Laura then hops out of bed, right? She's like, and wakes up. But yeah, that scene is awesome. Like I also love that scene. But yeah, she's like, trust the good Dale in the lodge. So anyways, it's just crazy how this all plays out. The next day, across town, Leo, my favorite character, freaks out on Shelly to clean the floor. He's like, "You're doing it wrong," right? And then Leo gets a call.
I love Shelley's performance too.
I love how he picks up the phone. He's like, $2,000, and she's like, $2,000. Like the way she mounts it is so funny.
I love her. Like whenever she pops up in anything.
Yeah,
she's such an awesome actress.
She really is. She's awesome. And we see that, Leo gets a call from Bobby looking for more drugs, basically.
Cocaine.
For the booger sugar. And Bobby gets turned down. And then that's when Bobby ends up calling Jacques and gets a hot tip. He's like, okay, there's going to be a guy that's arriving. And we don't know it at the time, but that guy that is coming is one of the bad deputies that we met earlier in the film.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, he's going to be arriving with like a whole bag of cocaine on Tuesday or whatever it is, right? So then we see where Laura gets a visit from Donna, and Donna kind of feels like there's a strain on their friendship.
It's a loud divide.
Right. Yeah. And also like
Laura's like wearing like the black, like,
yes.
Yeah. It's
and
sort of like the seductive wear.
She's bad.
Yeah.
No,
yeah. Yeah. She's just like, she's got herself like the drink. And then they have like Donna dressed very much like a
purity white.
Yeah. Like a character.
Like
have
light colors.
The 50s or something.
Yeah.
And there's such a separation from them. Then even like what you saw from the beginning of the movie.
Right.
Like it's just growing,
It's like you could see Donna is very sheltered and like a basic high school student, and then Laura Palmer is like exposed to the world and like the darker parts of the world.
It's funny when you look at the photo of Shirley from the first episode of her, like her homecoming clothes, and she looks like a little kid in it. So like you have the run of the show, and then like by the time they film this movie is a couple years later, right?
Yeah.
So she looks a little older, and I think that was such a blessing for this movie to make her seem and feel and look a little older than all the other kids in the class, because she is very separate from them.
Yeah.
Like she's like on a path they don't understand, and there's like an experience and like a darkness that they don't understand, and it's all perfectly balanced in that performance.
Yeah.
It's really
absolutely
neat stuff.
No, I love the juxtaposition of like the two characters, but yeah, Laura leaves and heads to the bar and gets a special message from the log lady.
There's a dog that runs by.
Yes.
We see the log lady, and what she says is, when this kind of fire starts, it's very hard to put out. The tender boughs of innocence burn first, and the wind rises, and then all goodness is in jeopardy.
Yeah.
I love her, the log lady.
She's great.
I can think about her in that third season without my eyes tears. Yeah.
That's. Do you know that scene was shot the day she passed?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
And then that fucking shot of like the
log
cabin
with the lights turning off.
Yeah. Get out of my life.
So Laura gets emotional when she starts to hear the jazz music from the singer inside, and two guys at the bar.
That scene too, like that her reacting to that person singing.
Yeah.
That song is like, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's really good.
And her just like, I just feel like there's moments where like Laura just realizes that like she just doesn't have time left on this planet. Like she's just heading towards something.
Yeah, absolutely.
I often wonder if Richard Kelly saw this movie when he was thinking of like writing Donnie Darko.
Yeah,
because like Laura's very much like a
Donnie
Darko.
Yeah, absolutely. Like knows that there's something. Yeah, like the fatalist. Yeah, like
there's something about like their death that's incredibly important to the preservation of like everything else.
Yes,
because like Bob, I don't mean to go off on a tangent with this, but like Bob is like this form of evil that has just been like slithering through time, like unnoticed, and like he isn't brought into the light until she's murdered. Like her death shines a light on the darkness and ultimately vanquishes it for temporarily, but still, like we don't know what Bob is until she dies. So in a sense, like she probably like her death probably saves a lot of other people.
Right.
So it's
yeah.
like it's very Darko-esque.
Oh, absolutely. It like brings that evil to the surface, like you were talking about Leland before, and it's kind of like the same. She's bringing Bob to the surface, and she knows if she keeps taking this path where it leads, but somehow is like accepting it as it's like getting closer and closer.
Yeah, and like that woman singing, it's just kind of like it's like touching her soul.
Yeah,
and it's touching my soul too, because I love that scene so much.
It's so good. Inside, there's these two guys, and at the bar, who try to pick up Laura, thinking she's a prostitute and stuff, which she kind of.
Well, that's the thing with that bar though. They have that back room. It's not so much that they're like doing anything other than what that room is intended for.
Supposed to be.
It's basically like we're looking for people who are willing to have
hookups. Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's when Donna tries to step in to like help Laura. She's like, "Come on, let's get out of here." And Laura just leans into it. She's like, "No. I'm staying here with Bucky."
I like that, like Laura in that situation, she's never like not in control. Because like, do you know like when like the guy like he's like this big strong burly guy, and like you think like he's like could clearly like overpower her physically, and then she just like grabs his and she's just like holding him in place, like she's completely in control, like she's not doing this because she's a victim or anything like that.
Right.
She's got like a lot of agency, and I really like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then into Club, Laura makes out with Jacques too. So Donna, Laura, and the three guys get drinking and dancing, and that's when
they play the greatest music ever.
Yeah, and I love what you were saying, like Dave was saying earlier. You actually have to watch the scene with like subtitles to get like truly what's happening, with like what's going on, because the sound kind of overpowers out. Yeah, and that's when we see Ronette Pulaski, and she shows up too, and Laura freaks out. Like everything's going fine; they're all like dancing, having a good time, like making out and all that kind of stuff. But Laura starts to freak out when she sees Donna.
Well, what's really, really interesting about this moment is that Donna, I love the staging of this, or the blocking. Yeah. Donna's on a table.
Right,
like laying across
down.
it, and it's like this guy's like feeding on her innocence in a sense.
Yeah, it's basically a buffet, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and she's exposed,
just, right?
And she's just like, and she kind of looks like a child, right?
Yeah,
and I love the whole exchange that happens where she freaks out because at this point she's like, "I don't want this for you. I love you," and then she screams at her. She's like, "I don't want you wearing my clothes. I don't want you like me. I don't want you to be like me." I'm like, that's like really, really like shines a light on their relationship.
Absolutely.
Like she really, really cares about Donna. She just can't relate to Donna the more this movie progresses.
Yeah. And that's definitely where you see even like a bigger line drawn between the two, and like the innocence and the path that Laura Palmer happens to be on. So the next day, Laura and Donna share a moment where Laura basically says she doesn't want Donna to turn out like her. She's
I want you to be like me.
Yeah, and that they get interrupted by Leland.
Well, it's interesting because she says, "Why do you do it?" And then walks Leland. And it's like people like kids that are like victims of sexual abuse typically do project that way. It happens. Right. And I'm like, wow, that's so perfect. It's just like, why do you do it? And walks the abuser.
Yeah. And that's when Leland's like, come on, let's go. And they're driving along to get breakfast. And they have this weird encounter with the one guy, the one-armed guy.
Mike?
Ah, yes. You stole my corn.
Yeah, you stole my corn. And they're kind of like stuck in between cars.
When he's driving towards them, did you notice you hear like the sound?
Yeah.
You hear that noise. Question. Tell me if I'm crazy. So, you know, like the arm in the room, right? Is that Mike's arm? Is that the
it is
physical
Mike's
representation of Mike's missing arm? Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Wow.
And their garmonbozia is essentially pain and sorrow. It's that's what it represents.
If those guys need some of that, I got a lot of it I can give them. I can give them bowls and bowls and bowls of garmonbozia.
Because he gives it back. Bob gives it back, I think, at the end of the movie, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and then it like spills out on the floor, and like it's
Spills
almost
out
like
on
the
the
floor
floor,
like eats it. It's awesome.
Man. So then we see Leland, and he kind of pulls off to the side, and he has like a flashback where he's in bed with Teresa Banks.
And he says, "You look just like my Laura."
Yeah.
But he doesn't say it like evil Bob Leland. It says it with like
an
a
admiration
affectionate kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's gross.
And they're in like this motel, and then he wakes back up in the car with Laura, and then he has another kind of flashback scene where he's like, yeah, you bring, two girls the next time we go to hook up in this motel. And then we see where he's walking around the corner, and he spots, Ronette and Laura. And he's like, oh, shit. And he just gives the money. Like, we see where Teresa's, like, kind of walking out of the office of the motel. And he just gives her all the money. He's like, here you go. And he just, like, runs off. And the only, like, jump scare in this movie, right? Like, you have where he's, like, walking away, and that little David Lynch kid pops out.
Oh, sure.
And it's just like, wow. But it's so good. And then you see where that little kid and, like, the grandmother kind of just, like, end up disappearing. Like, kind of like Phil Jeffries earlier. And, it's a really interesting scene. And then he wakes back up in the car, and he's like flipping out on like the mechanics or whatever, like those group of kids around him.
Laura freaking out in the passenger seat.
Oh my god,
that's what I look like when I drive through Philadelphia.
Yeah.
That is like, if you want a visual, look at Laura. That's what I look like when I'm driving through Philly. It is a fucking nightmare. Everyone is aggressive.
Yeah, Philly. Out of all the places, I've driven like cross country into like Brooklyn before. Like New York City before. Philly is my least favorite place to drive.
Yeah, it's a
terrible.
wish.
It's bad. Yeah, I don't know why. It just is. But anyways, that night, Laura is in bed freaking out, and Leland's downstairs remembering how he murdered Teresa Banks, basically.
That's like when they smash the TV. It kind of goes back to the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then so Bobby and Laura, the next night, they're in the woods, and Laura's kind of wasted.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
About Laura being wasted.
Yeah.
How much did you love her stupid dance?
Dude,
when she's just kind of like doing that little.
It's like so funny. This out. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Dave?
Yeah.
It's so good.
I was so excited to ask EJ a question because like she does this little like shifty thing. It's so funny.
It's good. I still give Bobby best dance in the movie. Yeah. But at the high school,
I don't even know if that's a dance. I don't even know
what he's doing. But
it's awesome though.
That's me sometimes just going into a store. But yeah, Bobby and Laura are in the woods. Laura's wasted. Bobby tries to shush her because a guy shows up with a lot of cocaine. Like a lot of cocaine. And that guy is actually the cop that we met before that was giving a hard time to Desmond. He was the one that like was laughing at him and eating up all the, Sheriff Cable's jokes and stuff.
It's comedy.
Yeah. And that guy ends up pulling a gun, but Bobby ends up shooting him first. And then Bobby, like, that headshot is insane. That might be one of the craziest headshots I've ever seen in a movie.
It's pretty cool.
It's insane. Like,
it's very blunt.
Yeah, it's gruesome. It feels real.
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
yeah.
now, Dave, this kill. I asked you about this. I think the day
Oh
after.
yeah.
Does this present a plot hole for the rest of the series?
There
Because
are many plot holes. Like
Bobby-
Chester Desmond being one of them.
well, like not so much like Chester, but like because you can write that stuff off being like anybody who gets involved with the Blue Rose cases disappears. I can get with that, but Bobby killing a guy, it doesn't seem like it ever comes up again, or that he feels any real guilt or remorse about the whole thing. It's just kind of like he kills somebody and then that's it. That's why I was wondering later on when James is talking to Laura and he's just like, Bobby didn't kill a guy, and she's like, oh yeah, like if that actually happened or not.
Oh, okay. So
like
if
if
Laura just imagines,
Yeah, like
it
if
all?
she's just kind of like losing her mind because it never ever gets brought up or anything. Like when you see Bobby in the first episode, he's
Yeah.
just like kid. Like I'm in
Right.
high school. Like I've never killed somebody. In my mind, I don't think that he actually killed that guy.
Okay.
I don't know. It's the only way that the show makes sense to me.
Yeah. So the next day, James asks Laura when they'll get together again, and she's like avoiding to answer, and she doesn't really want to. And a weird thing too, as she's talking with James, who's on his motorcycle, we have like a shot where we see Leland is just like kind of watching them from the porch, and you can see like Laura's kind of just trying to, kind of hide their conversation a little. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's weird. James is just a strange
Duck.
kid. Yeah, he's a weirdo. So
That's an understatement of the year.
yeah. So that night,
Would you be friends with James,
no,
EJ?
no. Would Rory?
I would. I'd be friends with James.
I would be friends with Leo. He's cool.
My nephews.
Oh no,
nephew,
Leo
great nephew.
Johnson, Shelley's
Oh
husband.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he seems like a good guy.
Yeah, he seems cool.
Yeah,
Misunderstood.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shelley's really the aggressor.
Yeah. So that night, Laura's mom has a vision of a white horse, and as I was watching it, I was like curious what that meant.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, did Rob Zombie
The,
see this movie?
Is this
He stole
Halloween
that from
too?
Halloween too.
Yeah.
He's just like, hey, I've got a great idea.
Yeah, I got an idea.
No, that horse comes back. That horse is in the series. Same vision.
Is it so? I wasn't sure. Do they explain what it is? Because I looked up like what does a white horse mean if you see like a white horse, and it means something about transformation, but also like purity and stuff like that. So I don't know if that like correlates.
I don't know if
Does
she's
it
having
correlate?
a vision of like what's about to happen with Laura.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. Like I could just talk around this for hours. But
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
Okay, I
think
wasn't sure
I
if
think
that's like
what
a-
it actually is, though. Like what you just said.
Okay.
I think it does have like the transformation element.
Because does she become more?
She
like
becomes
sees,
a horse.
Yeah,
as the
okay,
series
that's what I thought.
progresses. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Remember, is that Bruce? Oh, look at Bruce.
Oh my god.
Dave's cat is on camera right now. You don't know what beauty is until you see Bruce.
Yeah, he has like a tuxedo kind of.
He
Yeah.
has a little mustache. The other day, I threw into ChatGPT because I'm a weirdo. What would Bruce Wayne look as a human? So I attached a photo of Bruce Wayne and it actually gave me a picture of what Bruce Wayne would look like as a human.
Your cat,
Yeah.
yeah. Your cat would look like as a human. I
So,
think you just
yeah,
look
I
like
still-
Wilford Brimley.
Hold on. Let me see if I still have the picture here somewhere while you guys are talking.
Yeah. I was curious if like that comes into what it actually is later on. Is there like some kind of transformation?
Yeah, I mean, like for well, I don't want to ruin some
because
stuff.
she becomes very sensitive to seeing stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I don't want to. For when you go back into the show, I don't want to go too far into it. But
Yeah.
there's something with that, but
Okay. Because I had to look it up. I was like, what does that mean? And I just wasn't sure.
I'll have to ask Rob Zombie.
Yeah, we'll have to ask him. So then we see where Laura gets a visit from Bob the Demon, and she's like, "Who are you? Who are you? Who you are?" And this scene is haunting because Bob like lifts his head up, and then it's like that quick like cut to who it really is, and it's Leland.
It is like really
Butt ass naked, right?
Yeah, and man, if an image of somebody hits harder than that, I don't know what it is. Because it's just crazy. Like, oh, it's so terrible.
And his face, like, Ray Wise is, like, terrifying in this.
We should try to meet him someday.
Dude, I would love to
I would love to meet him.
Yeah. Is that Bruce?
It looks like Timothy Chalamet with a mustache.
I was going to say, it looks like Tobey Maguire with a mustache.
And this is the other one.
Aw. Look at him.
Yeah, that's
You should do it for your cat.
I should.
Or send me a picture of your cat and I'll do it.
All right, I'll do that. You don't gotta twist my arm to send pictures of my cats.
I know. So we see Laura's so withdrawn the next day and asks Bobby for more drugs. And Laura gets ready at home and sees the angel from this one painting she has disappear. Because she's like looking at this painting.
She feels abandoned.
Yeah. And you just see at one point the angel kind of disappears out of this painting.
It goes back to what she was saying at the beginning of the movie because all the angels have gone away.
Yeah.
She feels abandoned.
Yeah. And that's when James arrives to pick up Laura. And James can see Laura is really like out of it.
I like when what Laura's like that interaction that Laura has with Leland.
Yeah.
In the morning, and she's just like, I mean, it's again, I know we keep talking about this performance
Ray
being
Weiss.
great, but her, like, cause he seems
God.
very innocent, like he has no idea what's going on, and her whole like, stay away from me, like that trembling, like just barely getting the words out, like the she seems disturbed, violated, and like hateful, and it's all just mixed perfectly.
You know, and it's kind of crazy because she has like the feeling of the demon Bob, right? Like has an idea of what it is, like an intangible idea of what Bob is, but then the tangible version of Bob is her father. And do you think like she's like, oh, is Bob just like a figment of my imagination?
No, I think,
or do you think she actually is like, no, this is like a demon?
I think she knows it's Leland. He may not know it's him, but she knows.
Yeah.
Well, like, do you think she's like, it's my father that's just awful the whole time, and that she dies thinking it's her father, or do you think she dies like knowing, oh, he was possessed? Do you know what I mean?
She knows that something is inside him, but at the end of the day, the face she sees is her father.
Her tormentor is her father, and that's like a really, really hard pill to swallow.
Yeah. Because, you know, like sometimes like someone might create like an illusion of what the monster is that it's attacking them. But then she actually sees like, who are you? Who are you? She sees Leland finally and not, you know, what Bob was. So that's why I was always wondering, like, does she die thinking it was my father? Or like,
no, I think she knows that there's at least
okay,
yeah.
Because either way, that's
still
awful. Yeah, either way, pretty terrible. So, anyways, she's out with James, and at one point, she just screams in terror. Right? She's like, ah, and
for the record, if you can believe it, that moment when she looks out into the woods and she screams like that,
yeah,
they're like the second to last episode of the return.
Yeah.
That's a huge part of it.
Oh,
Really?
yeah, the woods.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is a huge moment. And you're just like, there's no fucking way that he could have like had that in his head. He's like, oh, just go scream off to the side. Like you see something in the woods and you scream. And then to fill in the blank 25 years later, you're like, so awesome.
Yeah.
And it works. Like where it goes and everything.
Yeah.
Watch the third season, DJ.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. And so as she screams into the woods, at one point they're on the motorcycle, and well, she does tell too James. She's like, Bobby killed someone, and at one point they're on the motorcycle. She just like jumps off, right, and she's like, "I'll see you later," and she just like runs into the.
She like it's really one of those moments too. When she jumps off, she's like running away from James.
Yeah.
And then she runs back and she screams, and it's a very like erratic sort of scream where she's like, I love you, James.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like this moment of being like, I know that this is probably the last time I'm going to see you. Like, I know I hurt you. I know I say terrible things, but I love you.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's really just awful to watch, this movie. It is a very, really hard movie to watch. But I love it so much.
Yeah.
For little moments like that.
Yeah.
As a man who's never loved anybody other than his violent urges.
True.
It's nice to see other people care.
Yeah, absolutely. So Laura runs out, and then she ends up meeting up with Jacques and Leo, and Renette too, and the four shack up, do drugs and more. And Jacques steps out for a second, and that's when we see Leland Palmer show up, and he like knocks Jacques out. And we just see where Leo kind of like just takes off. He's like, whatever. And he just runs out. And then Leland takes the two girls. And that's like one of the most haunting images in this movie.
I know exactly what you're going to say right now. And I agree with you.
Where he's running with the two girls.
Yeah, he's like leading them like lambs to slaughter.
And yeah. And it's just, it looks like, they're like dogs on a leash, basically. And he's like running.
And like Laura's makeup is all smeared and like.
It's horrifying. It's such a horrifying
really
image.
Scary where it all leads.
And you know what's weird is it looks like they're running in place, right? And I think that's what adds to that weirdness of how it looks. But you have the idea that they're like running through the woods to this train, right? But like that image is so good. Oh man, it's so creepy. Yeah.
You know this is like a line that always like really bugs me. And it doesn't bug me to like whether it bother like I don't like it, but it plays a part in the show. There's the bird that's in there, that's in the cage.
Yeah.
And at one point in the show, the bird actually like
says Laura's name. Right?
Yeah, and then it says, "Don't tie me up," because she screams that, and it's like really
she's screaming it to Leo.
Yeah, don't tie me up, and there's that moment where like this, like what's happening to those girls. When I was watching it for the first time, I stopped and I was like, "This is supposed to be a 16-year-old girl." It's like 16. I don't think she's 17 yet. Right?
Oh, I thought she was 17.
She's something.
No, I think she's 17, 18.
She's 17.
I think she's a senior.
So, but still, like 16, 17 years old. Like you're like they're still like you're watching the movie. You're interested in the story, but sometimes you forget that these are still children.
Yeah.
And it's like little moments like that. Like "Don't tie me up" is so like, the way she like yells that is it's very upsetting.
Yeah,
I don't know. And
the way this whole thing like plays out is just like awful.
And that bird,
and
man,
upsetting.
that bird sold.
Yeah, and we see, they get to this abandoned train, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they climb in, and Leland kind of like knocks out Renette or whatever, but then we see where he actually murders Laura Palmer.
Well, there's also like a thing that happens right before he murders her, where like Laura looks over at Renette and she sees like an angel.
Yeah.
And there's some type of like angel of mercy or something that's going to her aid. And like her hands become unbound or something. Like
right.
She's able to
yeah.
get
Like,
away.
yeah.
And Laura's looking at her almost like resentful.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the angels only seem to have like abandoned me. Like no one's here to help me. I'm having all this horrible stuff happen. I'm the only person that has to like endure this to such an extent. It's not even just that my tormentor is a tormentor. The tormentor's my father.
Yeah.
It's like I'm going to die in such a miserable fucking way. And I just feel completely abandoned and alone.
Yeah.
And like, that's just like, it just makes that scene so like ugly and hard.
Yeah.
And the way it's filmed, like because I know you just led into the murder part, it's filmed in a way, it's almost like operatic or something. It's like a big giant moment. Like it's like something spiritual is happening within her death. And I think it ties into what I was saying before. It's like this has to happen in order for Bob to be brought into the light.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why he also gets mad. Bob, not Leland, when she finally puts the ring on.
Yeah, because doesn't Leland say like he's like, "Don't make me kill you, Laura"? Mm-hmm. It's like if you put the ring like on, that's what's going to happen. If he can't possess you, he's just going to kill you.
Yeah.
and it's just tragic.
It's crazy. Yeah. And we also see the one-armed man kind of picks up Ronette and they run off. Like, he doesn't go inside the train car.
Because I think he knows that that's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Like, this has to play out this way.
Right.
It's like the Donnie Darko thing again. It's kind of why, like, I brought that up before. Where it just sort of seems like there's a lot of characters and a lot of people that just seem to know exactly how this specific incident needs to play out in order for something better to come from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Because Ronette, I mean, at the end of the day, Ronette's just fodder. I don't think Bob was ever going to kill her no matter what. She got out, but I don't think that was ever going to be his intention.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And so then we see, the death of Laura Palmer, and Leland dumps her.
We set up everything that we come into in the first season.
Yeah, he like wraps her in plastic and drops her into the lake, right? And then we see in this red curtain room, right? All that it's like filled with like Bob, Leland, and all the different characters, and now Laura Palmer as well as Dale Cooper, and they have the man from another place like saying a few lines here and stuff, and it's recorded backwards but played forward. It sounds like a normal voice or whatever, but we see the angel appear and stuff too. It's a great. I don't know. It's a cool.
It's a great ending, but question for both of you. So she's looking at the angel, and there's this like bluish sort of flickering on her face, right?
Yeah.
It evokes like a television set. Like, that's what it kind of seems like to me. It's like like when you're watching TV late at night or something, and
Right,
like a movie,
like
and you
that
see the
ambient.
flickering.
Yeah.
Does the angel have her see the show? Is
No.
it just no? Hear me out. Hear me out with this. Meaning, like, is it a thing where it's like you're showing somebody like this was the ultimate purpose to why this had to happen? Because she's not like sitting there like angry or freaking out or crying because she's dead. What's she doing? She's like almost like laughing about it.
Yeah.
Well, I think she's I wouldn't say laugh. I think more smiling because she finally sees that angel and finally realizes that there is someone by her side.
But the angel
even
is
at that
showing
moment.
her something, though. There's a initial joy where she sees the angel, and you're right. It's very like finally like there is something here for me. But what exactly is that angel showing her that has her kind of like, oh, okay, I get it, and you're like laughing? Like, I'm wondering
I don't
if
know,
like
because she starts crying too. So that's why
yeah.
I just think she's just filled with happiness that even though that she's gone, she finally has someone.
When I say TV show, I should reiterate, I'm meaning more like the ultimate purpose to like why all this stuff had to happen. It's almost like you're revealing to somebody like all these little things, this whole path. It's like you're actually doing something good, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, I get it.
Is that when like Bob Iger walks in with all the ABC execs?
Oh.
Like, this is the purpose of your death.
Speaking of Bob Iger, so this show was doing just fine, storytelling wise. And who's the motherfucker that said that you need to solve this murder right now, David Lynch? I'm going to tell you how to make a better show. Bob Iger, running shit all the way back in the early 90s.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I could see.
He's the Bob. He's the real Bob of the whole thing. The real monster.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
No, I could see like different people taking interpretations.
It's a fun
of,
ending.
Yeah, like it could be her watching, not like so much TV,
Yeah,
but like the events play out after her life.
Yeah.
And how kind of like a Donnie Darko moment where he's laughing,
Yeah.
knowing the engine's about to fall on him.
But like,
But, like,
that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
like Donnie has like an image because he got to see got
How
to live
stuff
a life.
played out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like like when I would use the idea of like a television set, I wouldn't mean it like literally.
Right.
But the idea of it being like, how was Laura Palmer presented to us? She was presented to us through like a television show. So
Right.
of course, like the imagery is on her face, the flickering of a television set. Don't take it literally. It's not
Right.
like, oh, tune in next week to find out what happened to you.
She's like, I could cancel after season 2.
Jesus Christ. But just like ultimately, like what like your story is presented to you the way that it was presented to us, and this is where it all led to, and it does lead to something good. Ultimately, I don't know, but here's the magic of David Lynch: the motherfucker doesn't just tell you. It's so we could sit here and just talk
discuss
about
it.
Yeah, and that's like a forgotten type of cinema where like not everything has to be spelled out, not everything has to have a bow on it, and often when you do that, it becomes like forgettable because you're just like, oh, that's it. Right. I know what this is. I know the entirety of what I just experienced. I don't ever have to think about it again. But he leaves you with things so that we can have podcasts and discuss to no end.
No, I think you can take different meanings for sure for that, like, and maybe I like that idea though. Like she's seeing how, like she met her fate, right, and she died, but it's kind of like It's a Wonderful Life situation where every little person, like George Bailey played such a huge part in so many other people's lives. And so she's kind of like, oh, I'm a 17-year-old who died, right? But now she's seeing like it actually opens up a whole different thing. And I think maybe that's why she's like, oh, I am more important than I thought I was.
Like this wasn't just like a miserable experience my life. Like it's like, oh, like that realization of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can see that.
I get it.
Like,
I get it now.
And like, oh, my cat, like the person who did this to me finally meets, his end, maybe.
This
right?
is like through an evil act, you can actually put down a greater form of evil, and like I get to be the vessel for that. Like, it's actually kind of beautiful. I don't know.
Yeah. No,
I like
I
your
love
George.
that.
I like your George Bailey comparison.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Mario. No, but I just see once you said that, I was like, I love
fun?
that. That's cool.
Isn't it
I love
fun that we can have conversations like this because of David Lynch?
No.
I know. I'm done. This will be the last episode.
Screw
of
you. This is the last one I'm doing.
Oh, our contracts are up.
No, but overall, I loved it. I really, really love this. I would say, man, I don't know. I love a lot of David Lynch films that like from the ones I've seen so far, but like this is really, really good, and I feel like you don't necessarily have to see the show because it's been years.
No, I highly see that.
But I think you should see it.
I think anyone that I've ever recommended the show to, Rory included, I said, do not watch the movie before seeing the show.
Yeah. I feel like I was gonna revisit it, right? But he's like, oh,
time.
But he's like, you're not gonna have enough time because we're probably gonna record like April. And I went, oh, okay. And then he was like, but it's good because that in of not really remembering a lot of stuff, just like I only know like a few details, and so I thought I was going to be like really lost, but I felt like I was still able to follow it, and I did have questions for you guys too, but like I felt like it's weird because normally I'm a weird person that like has to watch everything before I could like, take in the new movie that's coming out or something, right? Like I'll have to read the book before this movie comes out just so I could see the correlations or like stuff that's missing. So this is the first time I really ever just watched something and went, I should probably like, like, I don't know. So, but it actually worked out. Like I felt like I was able to follow the story and it could exist on its own.
I'll say this. There's a
That's
part
weird.
of this movie that you're correct 100%. Like it is a prequel. There's like an element of this that you can watch and follow the story of like Laura Palmer, right?
Right.
But if you've watched the show, there's a lot of other things because time isn't exactly like linear in this world. That you maybe need to see the show to have firmer grasp on, like Annie lying in the bed talking
Right.
about how Agent Cooper is now,
Right.
it's one of those things where you're like, okay, so that's actually after the show, technically, but not really, because we're going back into the past to convey this information. But
Right.
it's like that whole idea that I was saying before. Like, I like that line about how they say that like life is all a dream, essentially, like we're living a dream. It's sort of like time doesn't really matter in that sense. But there is a prequel in here that you can follow without having seen the show. If you've seen the show, it will 100% enhance the entire experience for you. So it's like,
Yeah.
But I like that you hadn't seen a lot of it, because it does, as you said before, like, if you don't understand something, that means that you can ask questions, and then we actually have more content for equals.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway,
But yeah, no,
you liked it.
Yeah, no, I loved it, and I do love stuff like, I think it was Philip K. Dick who said time is an illusion, and so I always love that idea that time isn't just linear. It's always like kind of this weird aura,
It's like a river.
yeah, and where everything is flowing, but also not in just like upstream. It's kind of like a circular thing. I don't know. It's cool, but anyways. I love that about this world, and this movie rocks. I definitely recommend it, and I can't wait to get into the show now that finally will have time. And it was awesome. How about you, Rory?
Well, I'll ask Dave. Dave, how did you like this movie? I don't feel like you
Dave,
liked
I feel like you were into this one.
you were grinding your teeth a lot throughout this whole thing.
I don't know how I made it these 3 hours.
Yeah.
This is a
Yeah.
miserable experience. This movie's a masterpiece. I don't care what anyone says. This movie
Yes.
is probably the most important movie I've seen in my personal life in the last 5 years, because of when I first saw it. How much has grown for me since I first saw it. I mean, it's jumped into my top 50 favorite films of all time just in 5 years. I think this movie is very, very, very special in terms of what it's talking about, the themes it's trying to present, the underrated performance of Cheryl Lee, and the brilliance of David Lynch. The fact that you kind of just said, like, we're sitting here talking about it, and all of us are right. That's the beauty of
I
Lynch.
know. It's so
we're
cool.
We're all 100% right, and that's probably the biggest gift he gave to us, was giving us the opportunity to have proper conversations and not just have everything fed
Spelled
to us.
out, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so good. I
And
freaking love that.
I mean, I've watched Twin Peaks 7 times since 2020, and
Hell yeah.
getting to rewatch this movie, I feel like it's a gift every single time.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. How about you, Rory?
I also did not care for it. I thought it was the worst thing ever. No, I think we talked about this on our last episode. I'm really glad that I waited so long in my life to actually watch this, because there is this thing that happens with media over time where I feel like it's just kind of becoming very samey, and I'm so excited to have been so invested in something, like to just be like going to bed thinking about Twin Peaks. Like,
Yeah.
all my conversations turned into Twin Peaks. I'm like, I need to drink more coffee. I need to eat cherry pie. I'm like, I love Agent Cooper. But this movie, I love the fact that it does feel a little different than the show does. Because we talked about this earlier. Like, I know there was a lot of stuff written in the script that circled back to a lot of the characters that didn't necessarily interact with Laura, but like, we're in the show, and it would have been nice to see them. But David Lynch made the smart choice of just like focusing up on Laura,
Yeah.
and like what Laura's experiencing, and like I think that just really made this like really great character study, and like this person who is like, even if you remove all of like the abstract stuff, you lose like some of like the metaphorical things. It's really just a story about a girl, going through like sexual abuse and like depression and slipping into darkness and trying to maintain the light. And it's like, so again, we use the word raw a lot this episode, but it's like a really great word to describe her in this movie. So it hits me right in the heart. The only other thing I wanted to say too is that I like there was this point where I was watching her, and there's a scene where she's in her classroom. And I know if the camera were to shift ever so slightly, you would see Audrey Horne sitting there, right? But like on the show, Audrey talks about how they weren't really close, right? They're only like supposed to be like a seat or so away from each other, and the camera's very much locked up on Laura. So what I really liked about that was that since it's so like movies are more personal, like you're more focused up on her. So like it kind of captures that feeling of being in high school when your world is kind of like this like smaller, not bigger, giant sort of thing. It's just focused up on like whatever it is that you're feeling. So like she's not getting the full scope of the classroom. I like that there's these points where you get these like great close-ups, and that's very unlike the show. The show is a TV show. The show is open and very wide. You get this big giant world, all these little things are spinning around, but it feels very intimate. And like I just feel like it added something to the story of the tragic story of Laura Palmer. So to me, I would recommend this movie if you watch the first 2 seasons through to really get a full grasp. You did see it though.
I did. A
long time ago.
A long time ago though.
But yeah, like if you didn't like, cut corners like EJ Leeson, you'll probably enjoy it more. So yeah, I would say this. Twin Peaks, I'm finished with it. I've watched it all the way through, and I'm probably gonna watch it again. But we're putting these episodes up out of order, so there's 2 more that are gonna come out after this where I'm gonna still be saying that I'm watching Twin Peaks. But I just want to let you know, this is not in order. We're doing a Lynchian thing right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I feel. Anyway.
Yeah, well, let's get into our emojis.
Let's hear those bomb-ass emojis.
All right, Dave, how about you start us off? What are your emojis?
I created one like I did the last time for Killer Clowns. I created, the little man dancing is already there. And then I created a red room.
Nice.
Emoji.
Perfect. Love that. Love it. Rory?
I got 2 dogs. I got a white horse. I got a TV set, and I got it like a blunt object smashing it. I got a log.
Good.
A log lady.
Yeah, good call.
And
do you have an emoji for every character on the show?
I should. I also have a Leland emoji.
A cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee.
A jean jacket for Bob.
Piece of pie. And a heart. And then another heart. And several more hearts.
And a diary.
And a diary.
And anything else? An arm. Giving a thumbs up.
What a person with a missing arm.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just have 3. It's a fire, a man walking, and like a eye emoji. Yeah, so fire walk with eye.
That's good. That was
Fire
good.
walk with eye.
That was good.
Yeah.
You should have another emoji in there that goes watch the show before covering this movie.
Yeah, I should.
AJ.
Thanks
Jesus
a lot, man.
Christ.
You just
I brought you on this one. You embarrassed me.
I love that. I was like, oh, I should watch all of it. You're like, we won't have time. There's no time. But let's get into our plugs.
It's time for a plug.
All right, Dave, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, you can find me at the cinematicgrill.com, also Cinematic Grill on Letterboxd, Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever socials you're on. This week I have nothing coming, but next week, actually by the time this podcast comes out, you'll be able to find my review of the latest Marvel film, Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wait, did you see it yet or no?
I see it on Monday.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah, there
man,
was a
I'm
screening
excited.
yesterday, but it was a little deeper in New York that I wanted to go to on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So I decided to pass, and I took a Monday morning screening.
Oh, cool. I'm really excited for it.
From what I was told, it is very back to basics, old school, like phase 1. We're not trying to complicate things. We just want to tell a story, and it touches a lot on like PTSD
Yeah.
and mental illness. It's pretty like from what I've been told, it's very, very different than anything we've gotten in a long time from them.
Well, they certainly haven't said that for the last bunch of bombs, but that's fine.
Well, you know
Well,
what?
this is coming from someone I know that saw
I'm
it.
kidding. I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
I feel like a lot of people are hating on Marvel, and I get it. Like, sure. But they did have...
I don't hate Marvel.
Since Endgame, they had No Way Home. Loved it.
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Uh-huh.
Awesome. I liked the Eternals. I think it was one of the best directed.
EJ, you lost me for life.
Oh, damn it.
Hey, I'm
I
back.
had a good run.
I'm backing them up. I actually didn't hate that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie was a snooze.
And then Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Bringing back with Sam Raimi. You're right.
There have been like some
You're correct.
decent
You're
ones.
correct.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. Like, I like to poke fun at things for sure. You know this about me. No, I don't hate Marvel. I think it's off track.
Yeah.
But like,
And
I mean, it's really kind of unfair to be like, all they gave me were like 30 some movies I enjoyed.
right.
Yeah,
You
like
know what I mean?
I think their problem is, and I'll end there. I think their problem is that you guys named good movies that I also enjoyed, except the Eternals. Like I've actually agreed with all of you guys on that.
Yeah.
The problem with Marvel is that since Endgame, they have no formed continuity.
Absolutely,
They're trying to do
yeah.
too many things, and I think what Secret Wars is going to do, if you guys have read the books, Secret Wars is going to end everything if it follows the book, and we're going to start from scratch, and I think we're going to be in a good place. I mean, I think this year is going to be very important. If Thunderbolts hits, and then the most important movie in their entire history, I think, is coming in July. If Fantastic Four hits, I think they're going to be back on track. I mean, they literally paid billions of dollars to buy Fox to get the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. So they need to hit on Fantastic Four.
Yeah. I'm really excited for Fantastic Four. I love those characters.
Yeah.
I'm such a first family. Yeah, I love them. But yeah, anything else you would like to plug too?
Yeah, Real Chronicles podcast. We've been off for a few weeks. Rory will be on this week. We are going to cover a movie I also saw during COVID for the first time.
You could say what it is.
Martin Scorsese's After Hours, which is now my top 4 favorite Martin Scorsese film. That movie is a fucking gem.
I agree.
Dude, it's so good.
It's awesome.
One of the hardest things I ever laughed at is when he's kind of like climbing up the fire escape and he witnesses like the lady basically shoot the guy. He's like, oh great, I'm gonna be blamed for that too. It's one of my favorite moments.
Awesome. Yeah, look them up. I usually plug your show every week, so
Thank you.
yeah, I do
Yeah.
every single
Every week,
episode. I
yeah.
got you. But so I won't do that this week. I'm gonna do mine now. You ready? I got Ravenview Productions. It is a film production company that I get to make movies through and also release this wonderful podcast through each and every Wednesday. I also have officially finished that script. I had Becca read it.
Oh my
She was
god.
the first person to read it, and it was horrifying. Just sit there and like lay on the floor and just be like, man, I put so much of myself into this thing.
Yeah.
If you just hate it, it's gonna devastate me.
Do you remember? So when I did that Battle of the Bards, I was sweating profusely,
Yeah.
like before everyone performed the thing I wrote, right? And I was like literally just sweating so bad.
I was just waiting for these words, like for her to just get midway through it and be like, "Can I finish it tomorrow?"
Oh no.
That would have just destroyed me.
Yeah.
She read it all in one sitting, and
Awesome.
and that was a good sign. But yeah,
Yeah.
she seemed to really enjoy it, so that's a good enough endorsement for me. Fourth Cut Reviews.
Hell yeah.
We got Church Conforti putting out stuff, and
Yeah.
I think he has a new review thing going
Yeah,
on.
he's been busy on TikTok, like doing TikTok
TikTok?
stuff. Yeah.
Doing Church Conforti stuff.
Church Conforti. Keyboard warrior.
We got Gravy Diggers Pot Pie.
Hell yeah.
It's officially a thing that's been... There's an FBI investigation going on with it. A lot of people have died, and it's becoming a thing. But we don't have to talk about that. Schwartz Dreamboat. It's our local comedian friend who produces comedy and videos that he sends to me, just for me. And I laugh hysterically every single time. Last little thing I'll mention really quick. Kitties of Any PA Pet Rescue.
Hell yeah.
You know I'm a fan. You know I'm a fan of the cats. I am a full member of the cat community. You should look up this group. They do great work by getting cats, like they go into bad situations and get them rehabilitated. They give them homes. They take care of them. They get them all set up so that you can come in and you can adopt them. And it will make a huge change in your life. My suicidal thoughts have decreased almost by half.
Well, that's great.
Almost. By half.
Oh, almost.
Almost by
keyword.
half. But anyway, Kitties of Any PA Pet Rescue. If you need to find a quick link to them, you can go on our website, frequelspodcast.com. Go there for the cats. Stay there for the cats. Yeah. Anyway.
Nice.
What do you got?
Just some music stuff. Friend of the show, Adam Farley. You could check out his music on the mdgcrew.com. He has upcoming shows. Make sure to check those out. Hold On Blue Eyes, he does a cover, and it's awesome. Check it out. Krista Liu, friend of the show too. He has an EP out, Songs from the Hallway, and that's on Spotify and iTunes. Also, New Metal Messiah, Jon Snow.
Metal Messiah, Jon Snow.
You could check out, he has a ton of stuff coming up. He's in like 19 bands. Go to etc.com and you have to see this guy live. That's all I can say. He will blow your mind. Your face will melt like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And then Variant Season, check out their stuff. They are on Spotify, iTunes, and Will Perna.
Wherever you get your music.
And they're working on something pretty awesome right now. So make sure to check that out. And then last but not least, check out frequelspodcast.com. You can get merch there. We have t-shirts. We have sweatshirts. We have hoodies. We have glassware. Pint glasses. Mugs.
We just got
we just have a new thing, right?
Mike Vinci and I, we collaborated on a cool hat.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Check out Shantytown Design. Our pal Mike Vinci. That is the if you need any type of like digital work, you need to help building a website. He and Sam crush it, and they do an awesome job. And he did an awesome job on our website.
Yeah, and he helped with our promotional stuff too for our live events.
Yep.
So. Mike Vinci, yeah, make sure to check that out.
Da Vinci.
But on our website, yeah, you could get links to all the stuff we basically mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, check that out. And with that being said, thanks again to our special guest, Dave Gonzalez, for being just awesome. I loved having you on. Thanks again for coming on.
Thanks again for having me. Always happy to be on.
Yeah, you're the best, man. And thanks to Rory just for making me watch a movie that I should have probably watched the TV show for.
You'll watch what I tell you to watch.
I will. And thank you guys at home for listening and tuning in every week. You guys rule. Thank you so much. We love you guys. We hope you had a great time at our trivia that we did and the live show.
It's coming up.
Yeah, and we love you guys. Thank you so much. With that being said, thank you for listening to
Thank you.
Nailed it.